Tornado warning!
Sydney, Nebraska. There's the lowering.
So we do have our first tornado warning, and the supercell is quite embedded. The storm that you're looking at is the earlier one to the southwest of Red Oak. That was from Mike Lashendro of the Omaha Twister Chasers. You could see a little bit of a lowering there as well. Pretty broad updraft base. We've got a cluster of supercell storms that has developed. Numerous storms that are happening, but the tornado warned one is actually one that's flirting with that cold boundary. Its inflow is certainly impeded by the supercell down near Red Oak as well. That's to the west of the Elliott area, right about there. Kind of surprised this one has a warning. I wonder if it is spotter indicated, but it's radar indicated there. Using the Omaha radar, you could definitely see some broad couplets further southeast. I think long term it's going to be this storm down near Clarinda that eventually develops a long-term tornado potential. It needs to complete this cell merger. Then that one's going to end up being the cell in the far southeastern portion of the line that continues to push off to the northeast. But there you can see that updraft base. That is from Storm Chaser Mike Lashendro of the Nebraska Storm Chasers. Thank you, Mike, for providing that. You can certainly see some cyclonic curvature to the hook-like appendages here and for that forward flank gust front. I was planning on being out in the field for this event. I had a flight that landed at 11:15 into Omaha this morning. Had a bit of a family emergency here. My sister is having a tough time, but we're going to be headed out to northern Georgia tomorrow. Make sure that she's doing okay as well. And for my niece's birthday out there. Then I'm going to be eyeing the Monday severe weather threat across eastern Tennessee, maybe northern Georgia, northern Alabama for that severe weather potential. So this is the storm that we're watching. I know that there is that active tornado warning, but I'm just not seeing the very tight rotation on that storm yet. Even the echo tops are a little bit suppressed with that tornado warned storm well southwest of Atlantic. That tornado warning does almost include Griswold to the next of Griswold. It is a radar indicated circulation. 3:09 p.m. severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 26 miles southwest of Atlantic. Hail to the size of golf balls. But that front is definitely sagging rapidly off to the southeast. Let me show you what the satellite imagery looks like. There you can see our beautiful storm system. Elevated mix layer that's starting to wrap in as well. This is the internet capture. There it is. There's the satellite imagery. And zooming in, you can certainly see those cloud tops that are starting to develop. Those are the severe storms over southwestern Iowa. A little bit closer, we can loop these. And you sure can tell a lot from satellite imagery. You can see that stratiform, those stratiform clouds that are sagging off to the southeast. That's the cold front. These are stratiform clouds out here, these milky skies. You can even see some gravity waves over top that stable layer. And this thing is continuing to march off to the east. You can even see some elevated storms that are getting elevated over that shallow stable layer, trying to lift up and over it. As that cold front, you can see underneath those clouds is starting to undercut some of the supercells on the north side of that. I think that's why those supercells on the northwest side of this cluster are starting to invigorate. It's because they're becoming elevated. They're tapping into those mid-level lapse rates. They're getting forced up by the oozing of that Arctic air mass underneath them. But look at that one off to the southeast all by itself. That one's starting to get really agitated near the tops. Look at that storm starting to get some overshooting tops, start to poke up into that stratosphere. Tropopause is relatively low. Notice, though, out ahead of those storms, not much in the way of cumulus or even towering cumulus out there. And in fact, you can even see some wave clouds that are developing on top of that shallow stable layer. That's indicative of low-level stable layer that's happening there. Then you get an abundance of those towering cumulus off to the south as you go back into northwestern Missouri. Let's take a look at radar again. Shimmy on back to our tornado warning. Thank you, everybody, for joining these weather reports here. I am live. Might have to go back to the Facebook here soon as well. I'm kind of oscillating back and forth between Meta and YouTube here. Got William Sharp dropping south. There's a new tornado warning for the Red Oak storm. Still radar indicated. Seems like we're issuing a lot of tornado warnings for these that are competing with a lot of storms immediately just to the south. Inflow certainly getting impeded into those storms. but must be some rotation. Let's take a look at that's. It is in a little bit of a radar hole as well, but we're using Omaha radar. Let's see what kind of a scan we can get from Des Moines. Could definitely see some storm relative inflow of these storms. I'm not seeing much in the way, though, of really tight couplets yet. Sometimes it's good, though, just to get those warnings out. Just on the northeast side of Red Oak, looks like we might be getting a little bit more rotation. Let's get Mike Lashendro on the horn. Let's see if he'll answer even. No, he didn't even answer. He must be dominating right now. Storm chasing. Certainly. Tornado threat is happening right now. We're looking at this. I'm going to try to find a way to also go live on Facebook. Maybe I could just strap my phone to my chest. There we go. So now I'm going live, doing a multi-platform stream, using my phone, holding it just below my head right now. Old school production happening. We are breaking down the tornado threat right now. There's the tornado warnings, one just to the west of Elliott, Iowa. I do believe that one is likely flirting with some of that stable air at the low levels. You could even start to see its anticyclonic curvature a bit to that reflectivity pattern. I haven't seen much in the way of really tight couplets just yet, but there is a little bit of rotation just to the west of Elliott, Iowa. That'd be right in that location, just to the northwest of the Elbow on Highway 48, just southwest of Griswold, Iowa as well. We also have some rotation back near Red Oak. But I'm really interested in these storms, especially this lead cluster off to the southeast. This is just to the northeast of Clarinda. This is definitely a concern because that storm, I think, is going to have a lot of unimpeded inflow in the long term. But it doesn't look very organized on radar. Looks like the left split is definitely starting to dominate there. You can see that it's highly strung out as well on radar. This one to the west of Hepburn, though, definitely is having some more cyclonic curvature. With that, you can even see a little bit of a bulb down there near the mesocyclone. I do suspect that maybe this storm could die out. It's the left split's definitely being favored there, or this left split could get absorbed by this storm to the northwest of Clarinda, and then that one will slowly start to dominate. But overall, we've got a cluster of numerous supercell storms across southwestern Iowa. Got storm chasers on the ground. Was just talking to Mike Lashendro on this. He was on the Red Oak storm, dropping down to these off to the southeast because of the storm interference. You've got all this rain-cooled air happening. He was just in Red Oak, reported that rain-cooled air. You've got two tornado-warned storms. These are both radar indicated, not really associated with very strong rotation. I think that these storms on the northwest side of this cluster are getting invigorated because of the cold air that's oozing off to the southeast. This one is totally elevated just to the east of Plattsmouth, south of Glenwood there, right on the Iowa side of the Missouri River. That one's on the cold side of the boundary. And this one likely is on the cold side as well. Got another supercell further north to the west of Atlantic. That is almost to the I-80 corridor. That we also need to keep a close eye on. And there, now we got a severe thunderstorm warning. A new severe thunderstorm warning for our cell on the very southeast side of this cluster of supercells. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 supercells right now. You've got William, who's blasting south through Corning to get visual of this storm. He's been making some serious progress here recently. Must be moving quite fast to get visual of that storm to the southeast of Valiska. I wouldn't be surprised if there's definitely not a tornado possible tag with that hail up to 1 inch in diameter. Let's take a look at the ecotops of these storms and see how high those updrafts are penetrating into the troposphere. And there you can see the ecotops are highest on the southeast side of this cluster of storms, southwest of Corning. The yellow are the highest cloud tops. So these two cloud tops, not surprisingly, on the southern edge of this are the most healthy of those updrafts, the strongest updrafts, probably the most rapidly rotating as well. So those are the ones that we're keeping an eye on. But look at the total collapse of the ecotops for the tornado-warned storms to the east of Omaha. This one to the northeast of Red Oak is still hanging on with some ecotops. But overall, The wind shear isn't quite in place just yet. In our earlier live, we were looking at some of that wind shear across south central Iowa and near the Missouri border, right near the intersection. And it looks like the atmosphere basically from Des Moines all the way down into northern Missouri is certainly going to get more favorable with time. Further south into northwestern Missouri, we've got storms that are starting to develop down southeast of the Marysville area. That storm continues to intensify. I do wonder if the instability is going to be greater down for these storms, a little bit less storm interference, and maybe something from these three storms, from basically southwestern Iowa near Corning, down through Maryville, down into the northwestern portion of Missouri. I do think that one of these is likely to develop tornado potential long term. The time is about 21:20 3:20 p.m. Central Standard Time. I think we have daylight savings time coming up next week. The good news for the tornado threat across southwest Iowa so far is that you have a tightly clustered appearance to these storms. They're all interfering with each other. And really, to get that robust long-term tornado potential, you need one of these storms that's out in the middle of nowhere. Clean access to the low-level jet, clean access to inflow into the southern and to the southeastern flanks of these storms. And I think that's what you might get with these couple of renegades that are developing further south into northwestern Missouri. Let's take a look at the satellite. Satellite imagery showing the tops of these storms. You can definitely see the agitated tops on these storms in the southwest side of Iowa. You can also see the maturing storms down across northwestern Missouri as well. So these are starting to mature. These are heading into that environment across south central Iowa that looks ripe for tornadoes as that wind shear increases dramatically above about 200 to 250, 0 to 1 kilometer shear with that 50 knot low level jet that emerges out ahead of it. But look out ahead of these storms. Not much in the way of surface-based cumulus. Not much in the way of towering cumulus as well. You got a little bit down on the Missouri side of the border, and then you get pure towering cumulus and developing storms down into the northwestern portion of Missouri. Some healthier ecotops. You can see those two relatively high ecotops that are on satellite into the southwestern Iowa. These are definitely the ones that could become tornado producers upstream. But notice how there's a lack of surface-based cumulus across southwestern Iowa. You're really going to need this cumulus field, or at least the environment that those are associated with, to lift up into southwestern Iowa to realize that robust tornado threat. Looking at the hodograph, again, this is the Des Moines hodograph that you're seeing. Shows quite favorable wind shear for tornado potential. Let me bring that right into the middle of the screen to show you what's going on here. That shows you a southerly wind of about 7 or 8 knots at the low levels. That's your surface wind. The direction that the wind is blowing, you've got a vector with magnitude and direction. Each one of these rings represent 10 knots in speed and wind speed. So your 1 kilometer wind southwest to northeast exceeds 40 knots already at Des Moines. So that's already an environment that is supportive of tornadoes that these storms are moving into. Your 0 to 1 kilometer shear in excess of 250 already out ahead of these storms. So let's now take a look at some of the environments that they're moving into. Here is that tornado watch. There's the arc of storms. The enhanced risk was definitely more for a damaging wind threat, but definitely isolated tornado potential as well. And this tornado watch goes until 8 p.m. Includes locations like Des Moines. It includes Omaha, but you're on the cold side of that boundary, so the tornado threat in Omaha is all but 0. But it does include this northern section of Missouri as well. Forecast tools. Let's take a look at the RAP analysis. See what these storms are doing. The environment that they're moving into. And you have this egg-shaped surface low, basically shaped like a bean. We don't have that compact, strong surface low ejection that yesterday's forecast models were indicating. They're impacting a bulging dry line surging into the Missouri River. Supercells developing along that bulging dry line. Dew points back behind the dry line, dropping into the teens, even down near 20. But even despite this egg-shaped, weaker surface low, there still is going to be an environment out ahead of it that is conducive for tornado potential, and you can see the instability. A Cape blob in excess of 1,000, a blob of about 2,000 Cape centered over southwestern Iowa. Usually you want to target the nose of this instability, but in this case, notice how there are no easterly winds wrapping around this weak egg-shaped surface low. The shape of the surface low, the shape of the entire trough ejection certainly matters, but you do have this northwest wobble of the front, kind of the intersection of a bit of a dry line that extends down along the Missouri River. You have southwesterly winds back behind that narrow dry line, and then you got the front right back behind it. Wind shear, storm relative helicity, effective helicity, consistent with the VAD profile that we just looked at in Des Moines. You've got greater than 200 0 to 1 kilometer shear moving into Des Moines, just along the I-80 corridor. But these storms are out west of that main shear in an environment between about 100 and 200 0 to 1 kilometer storm relative helicity. So that's an environment that is more marginally conducive for tornadoes. That's moving into southwestern Iowa. But as we go forward to 23Z, look at that environment expand. 200 to 300 0 to 1 kilometer shear for that cluster of supercells. And any of those supercells that are on the southeastern side of that cluster will have tornado potential as those eject off to the northeast. So that's your window between about 22.5, 22, 23Z, 4, 5 p.m. to about 6 or 7 is your window for tornadoes. And then this threat is going to shift toward a windbag moving into eastern Iowa. Already out to the Mississippi River by 27Z, by 3Z, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. There's your convective line moving across southern Iowa. Let's go back now and look at some of the tornado warnings that are in place. Got another one for the southeastern storm. Just got issued. There it is. They're issuing tornado warnings all over the place like hotcakes. That one includes Corning. Definitely a more favorable orientation to that supercell storm. These other tornado warnings off to the north, I'm not sure if those are going to materialize because of cell interference and also being a little bit closer to that stable air. Even a little storm developing an elevated supercell to the east of Omaha. But let's take a look at the velocity imagery southwest of Corning. And it's not the tightest of couplets, but it does have rotation. There's your storm relative inflow that started to increase into it. That does look like that's ramping up, though. That is a mesocyclone that is intensifying with time. Storm relative inflow ramping up into that thing. Mike, if you're watching this, you definitely want to be heading down toward that storm. It's just southwest of Corning. Big inflow into that. That's your storm relative inflow zone. I'm on YouTube as well. Trying to do the multi-platform stream, full court press, all hands on deck. There is the storm relative inflow that's starting to ramp up. All these storms that are tornado warned off to the northwest, I'm not as worried about. But if you're in a tornado warning, still heed that warning. Take shelter as well. We have about 4 active tornado warnings across southwestern Iowa. This storm to the southwest of Corning is quite dangerous because it is totally exposed. It's totally exposed inflow. Clean inflow coming in on the southwest side of Corning here. Has that nice sickle shape to it as well. You can already start to see the cyclonic curvature to the reflectivity pattern of this storm. Gizmo's downstairs taking a nap right now. I've got to hang with my family during this time due to these difficult times right now for my family. I'm heading out to northern Georgia tomorrow to spend time with them. I did have a flight into Omaha that landed at 11:15, but because of that, I'm breaking down everything on radar now. But there you can see that mesocyclone southwest of Corning. It doesn't look like there's a tornado that is confirmed, of course. This is still a pretty broad mesocyclone, but it is starting to go through the motions. You're starting to get that increase in the storm relative inflow on this. That's the red color. Those are the southerlies and southeasterlies that are starting to stream into that storm. Looking at the echo tops, we can see how high this storm extends into the atmosphere. Look at that. That's up about 40,000 feet now in yellow. Highly tilted storm as well. You could definitely see the tilting with your mesocyclone back to the southwest of Corning, and then your echo top spike up near Brooks. Going back to that mesocyclone, the mesocyclone to the southwest of Brooks. Villisca to the west of Villisca, you also have a tornado warning. Pretty broad rotation out there. I'm not seeing a likely tornado on that one. All these are radar indicated. Probably pretty smart to issue tornado warnings on these because they're moving into an environment of increasing wind shear, especially this one that has all of that clean access to the low-level jet off to its south. That storm certainly has potential, and look at the shape of it too. You could tell that it's starting to experience that strong low-level wind shear as it's moving up toward the Corning area. But Corning, you definitely need to be in your safe place. A very dangerous storm is approaching. If you look off to the southwest of Corning, probably see a large wall cloud that's associated with that rain-free base. We're looking at Omaha radar right now, so this is still a little bit far away from the radar. Here you can see Willard Sharp. He's got an external temperature of about 61 and a dew point also of 61, suggesting that it's totally saturated in the inflow region of that storm. I'm wondering if that instrument is accurate. Looks like the winds due southerly at about 16, 17 miles an hour in gusts. Dew point pushing 62 and a half, and then interestingly that dropped down to about 61. So it does look like we've got a dew point that is near 60 at least, but the fact that he is saturated there suggests that that instrumentation is probably getting rained on and starting to experience that saturation a little bit. Let's loop this radar. And you can see it's trying to turn right. It's definitely maturing. I think that this is the storm that has the best chance of tornado potential coming into Corning right now. These other storms off to the northwest are getting hurt by cell interaction. There's a lot of different storms all around them up there. All of these tornado warnings are definitely feeling the pain of that cell interaction up there into the west of Villisca. But this storm right here has clean inflow heading into Corning. You can see the cyclonic curvature to the reflectivity pattern. It also has the highest echo tops, and that's because a rotating updraft is a stronger updraft that's going to be penetrating higher up, closer to the tropopause, and even poking into the stratosphere. And probably an overshooting top to the west of Corning. Notice out of the northwest of that, the echo tops really subside. You've got this elevated one out near Silver City, just to the east of Omaha. But you can definitely notice how these echo tops are subsiding out here. That's due to cell interactions. Mesocyclones aren't as powerful. Definitely, when mesocyclones are rotating, they're going to be extending higher up into the storm. And that's why you got to get on that Corning one. I'm hoping that Mike Lashendro is on this. Last I talked to him, he was up on that storm up near Red Oak, and he was going to go east to get on this one. That's definitely the storm he wants to be on. I tried to call him, and he declined my call, which is about right. The key here is to watch that mesocyclone tighten up on the southwest side of it. Right now, it still looks a little bit broad, but if that RFD will pivot around and wrap around that inflow zone, and you get a lot of stretching, and it continues to move into that favorable environment for wind shear, then that thing is going to develop tornado potential. In fact, it has tornado potential since it's already tornado warned. But I think what you're going to see are these other tornado warnings be allowed to expire. There with these storms that are getting interfered with, storms just immediately to its south, raining into its inflow. You really need those storms that have clean access to the low-level jet off to the south of it. That storm to the southwest of Corning is the most interesting. Willard is all over it. Willard Sharp just to the east. But his temperature is equaling the dew point temperature, suggests that his weather station is getting saturated. It's probably raining on it. The sensor's probably exposed. And I bet that there's better quality to the inflow air out ahead of that storm, certainly, than what is being indicated here. Let's see if we can look at it from upstream or a different radar. My hands are starting to sweat. I have trouble working this mouse pad. I have pretty inferior equipment overall, as I've been storm chasing over the last 5 to 6 years nonstop. I haven't really been doing any equipment upgrades, just trying to make do with what I have. So that's what we're doing. But right now, first glance, you can see this little circulation southwest of Grant. That's probably what that tornado warning is for. You've got a broad mesocyclone to the west of Villisca. And then you've got this, which is a decent mesocyclone to the southwest of Corning. This is the storm that has the greatest potential of producing a tornado. The circulation to the west of Villisca still trying to ramp up as well. And look at that increase in the storm relative inflow to the south of Corning. You want to watch for trends in radar, how things are changing with time. That's the key. Trends are your friend in meteorology. That includes the low-level jet, which is actually forecast to increase as we're going through the day. But just heading up into Corning, strong mesocyclone there. Prescott, west of Creston. I think it's going to pass between Creston and Orient. That's definitely your most dangerous storm. I'm not spending as much time. Ooh, look at that latest scan, guys. It looks like it's going tornadic. See that latest scan? Boom. That is a drastically improving mesocyclone that's happening here. It's pivoting. Everything's trying to pivot around. Low level, the rear flank downdraft is pivoting around the inflow. Definitely tightening up that circulation just to the southwest of Corning. Still radar indicated, waiting for that report. But that thing is nasty right there. Tornado potential dramatically increasing on this latest scan. You've even got a little bounded weak echo region. Even though we're relatively far from the radar, you've got that hook-like appendage to the west of Corning. Looks like it completed that cell merger. This thing's going nuts. Storms off to the northwest that are still tornado warned are starting to peter out a little bit. But this storm to the west of Corning, definitely increasing tornado potential dramatically. Waiting for this next scan on this storm. RFD wrapping around. Inflow coming in on the northeast side. A very, very healthy mesocyclone. And it's only 3:40 Central Standard Time. There's your mesocyclone. Continues to improve its health. Very close to Corning. Corning, you're probably directly underneath that mesocyclone right now. Probably got hail falling out. You're basically in the bear's cage in Corning right now. That circulation is coming into Corning, Iowa. You want to be in your safe place. Highway 148, Highway 34 as well. This is where that circulation would be. And it looks like that tornado warning got extended upstream for this one. It has to be radar indicated, I would think. Radar indicated that circulation to the north of Dickeyville just is a little bit more broad. A majority of these storms to the northwest are getting impacted by cell interactions. It's pretty obvious. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to tell that the dominant mesocyclone is down near Corning. That's where all the bright colors are located. Pretty dangerous storm moving that way. You can see your classic cyclonic hodograph shaped storm here. Cyclonically curved hook echo. Looks like a little bit of rain out along the forward flank. Probably it's because we're scanning so far out from the storm. But I do believe that this storm is about to produce. Let's take a look at the dual pole products now. See if we got any debris signatures or anything with this storm. I think that that's more hail core related. Since we're so far away from the storm, it's what we're sampling. You're seeing these are more hail cores with the correlation drop as they're scanning up relatively high up in the storm. A little bit displaced to the northwest, but I think that this thing is pretty close to trying to produce, and it looks like it's trying to happen right over Corning. Mesocyclone is maturing. I do know that the wind shear is a lot more favorable as well to the northeast of this storm. Very strong mesocyclone, everybody. Just near Corning. Highway 34, Highway 148. Willard's still on it. He might actually be saturated. He might be getting some of that rain within the forward flank down there to the east of that storm. 61 over 61. Looks like he's getting some of those rain showers. Willard, you may want to go back east and north. Get out ahead of that thing. sure the structure is magnificent, though. Usually pretty well ventilated storms. So there is that rotation, very near Corning. Highway 148, Highway 34. Tornado threat is definitely increasing with this storm. Thank you guys. Hit that subscribe button notification so that when I go live or have to turn it off and back on, we can continue to deliver this information to you. I meant to be on the ground chasing this. However, it's more important to stay back. These storms off to the northwest, they were tornado warned, but they're just getting impacted by this dominant supercell near Corning, and I don't see anything stopping this as it heads up toward Orient, north of Creston, south of Greenfield. Pretty sure it's going to produce eventually because the wind shear is so favorable. I'm such a believer in favorable kinematics given sufficient thermodynamics. Let's look down further south. These storms continue to mature across northwestern Missouri as well. This is a severe warning storm to the west of Grant City. Got another one near Stanberry. Those eventually are going to move up into this environment over south central Iowa that gets really favorable closer to about 5 or 6 p.m. later on in the day. This tornado warned storm has the look of a long track dangerous storm. Short range models have been very good with this, and it's going to continue to lift off to the northeast. Looks like I'm losing a little bit of my data. I'm back again. There we go. Might be cycling. I'm noticing a little bit of that extra rain out on the forward flank, but you can see that classic hook-like appendage. Looks like some big reflectors up there within that hook, probably wrapping some of that hail around. Definitely a much more favorable, mature supercell as it's lifting off to the northeast. This is just to the west of the Prescott area. It's a pretty dangerous supercell storm moving off to the northeast. Oh, that is a nasty circulation now. It does look like Willard is keeping even with it. Probably looking off to the north at that circulation west of the Prescott area. Probably going to start to... That's got to be getting tornadic pretty soon. Let's take a look at the dual pole products here. Hard to know for sure, but it does look like there could be some debris getting lofted by that. That's probably the hail core being that far away from the storm. Still radar indicated hail up to 1 inch in diameter. Need more radars across the board, really. Let's loop this now. We can see how it's looping as that storm is heading up. It's going to pass very close to Prescott, if not just to the north of the Prescott area. Prescott, Iowa. And there you can see it, a dangerous, strong mesocyclone heading right to Prescott, Iowa. Prescott, Iowa, you got to be in your safe place. Orient, Cromwell, even Creston. I think it would be a good idea for you to get in your safe place, but definitely Prescott, dangerous storm, knocking on your back door, about to move in. Debris signatures as well. A very powerful mesocyclone here. Definitely is in progress. See if I can see anything on social media here really quick of this storm. Let's see, Iowa weather. Looking at Twitter really quick. Saw Brandon Sullivan said today got messy fast. Looks like there was a quick little tornado. Screen grab of one near Emerson, Iowa that Aaron J-Jack shot. Multiple brief touchdowns. Blasting east now. So it does look like there are some... Oh, and Willard did get a brief tornado just south of Corning. So I'm seeing it right now. It's a bird fart needle tornado, but definitely got on it. A funnel cloud looks like that's all the way to the ground. And definitely seeing some wall clouds as well on here. Ridge Riders are out dominating. Funnel cloud out there. Red Oak. Low wall clouds all over the place. Isaac Sushi is on it. So far we have definitely had some bird fart tornadoes. I would show you those, but I'll probably get some kind of a copyright violation with that. But even though this has a large mesocyclone, it's producing relatively skinny tornadoes here right now. But I was just looking at Twitter. Willard was on it. Saw that a needle tornado to the southwest of Corning. That's some range folding there. That RFD is so intense that it is definitely starting to bleed out. Looked like Aaron Jajak was on some of those storms off to the northwest. Nothing tornado of the year yet, but these are producing bird farts. Bird fart tornadoes. But a very nicely shaped supercell here to the northwest of Prescott. That's the one that did produce a couple of tornadoes. Orient, you want to get in your safe place. Greenfield, north of Creston, all of those areas certainly want to be in your safe place. Dangerous supercell storm lifting off to the northeast. Let's look at the echo top so we can see how high this is poking up into the atmosphere. Looks like the one out near Carbone is trying to take over, but look at that echo top ramp up on approach to the Corning area. You can see a spike in that echo top up to orange. Also had a coincided spike of the western cell to the north of Villisca that probably also produced a bird fart tornado. And right as it was passing through Corning, your echo top spiked. And now that mesocyclone is lifting off to the northeast, still in progress. And it looks like it might be cycling. There's quite a bit of rain now in that forward flank of this storm. There's your hook-like appendage around the backside. And I think that storm is just going to continue lifting off to the northeast, moving eventually toward the south side of Des Moines. I mean, it looks like it's headed straight toward Des Moines long term. So Des Moines, obviously, very important to keep an eye on this storm as it continues to move off to the northeast. You've also got these renegades that are coming out of northern Missouri, just to the south of the Missouri-Iowa border. These are to the west of I-35, Grant City, Stanberry, Albany area. Cluster of supercells. This one down southwest of King City has a special weather statement on it. But this is definitely the most dangerous storm and the only tornado-warned storm right now located. It's observed so that needle did get reported. Confirmed tornado located over Corning, moving northeast at 40. Weather spotters confirmed that tornado near Corning. So that one is confirmed. Happening right now in Corning. This is a storm everybody's on, and that includes Willard. He reported it. Just saw on Twitter that needle tornado that happened out there. Continues to dominate as it moves off to the northeast. Look at that thing. Here is a look at the storm earlier near Red Oak. This was taken by Mike Lashendro, Nebraska Storm Chaser, showing you those large, crisp bases, as you'd expect with a tornado event like this. But this is the storm off to the southeast that we've been monitoring that came out of northern Missouri. That basically has that clean access to an intensifying low-level jet. Low-level jet continues to intensify off to the east of this storm. And it looks like it might be cycling now, regrouping very near Prescott right now. If you live in Orient, Cromwell, you got to get in your safe place. Pretty dangerous storm moving off to the northeast toward the Orient area. Looks like it's cycling for sure. You can see just a little bit of some separation between that strong storm relative inflow and the rear flank downdraft organizing on the backside of that storm. But it looks like that strong area of storm relative inflow is organizing for another cycle as that's moving off to the northeast toward the Orient area. So there's your mesocyclone to the north of Prescott. You can look at the 3D image. 3D look at this. Basically just shows the higher reflectivity as a spike. Or it shows it that it's extending higher up in the atmosphere. It's not always necessarily the case, but this is 3D reflectivity, a look at the storm. Kind of an effective 3D look at the storm, but basically the higher reflectivity shows the higher, shows up as a higher ecotop, but it's not always necessarily the case. It's just a way to look at reflectivity, compare reflectivity in a 3D sense between these different storms. Let's take a look again at how the wind shear, as the storm is probably cycling and about to ramp up and potentially produce a large tornado between here and the Des Moines area. Let's take a look really quick at what the hodograph is looking like now. And there's the environment. It continues to get more favorable with time. Look at that. Still definitely the wrap nailed it, showing you that southeastern storm intensifying with time. We shift on over to the model data on here as well. There it is. So there's your arc of convection, still just west of the strongest wind shear. But watch as we go to 23Z, which is about 5 p.m. That's an hour from now. Look at that wind shear increase to above 300. That's going to be cranking into that storm. I do think it will be capable of a brief window of maybe even a strong tornado in there between 23Z and 1Z. 1Z being 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So between about 5 and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time is when that window is for that storm to potentially produce a strong tornado, and that window is approaching right now. Let's take a look at some current photographs. autumnsky.us is a great site to visualize these photographs in real time. Let's take a look at Des Moines, see what Des Moines looks like. So the photograph looks a little bit less favorable in Des Moines, interestingly, with this real-time update. Looks like the critical angle's a little bit flatter. It does look like that low-level jet has just dropped below about 40 knots as well. That's your 1 kilometer wind. About 38 knots south-southwest, 1 kilometer wind. That's going to increase dramatically to above 50 knots. Your surface wind due south at about 10 knots as well, creating your 0 to 1 kilometer storm relative velocity of about $140. Marginally conducive for that tornado threat. So there's our storm. It's the only tornado warning storm now. There were a bunch of tornado warnings that were issued for those off to the northwest, but they are definitely battling with some of that stable air. Also battling some storm interactions as well up in that area. But definitely a dominant supercell storm to the north of Prescott, Iowa. Looks like it might be cycling as well. It's always had this rain kind of feeding in near the forward flank region, kind of in the inflow region of this storm. I think that we're so close. The temperature and dew point are so close that even just a little bit accelerated inflow shows up as condensation. Willard is obviously driving here to get those winds near 75, 63 over 63 total saturation. Probably getting rain on the sensor. But it does look like that supercell continues to organize. You can see the classic cyclonic curvature to the reflectivity pattern. Little weak echo region that's not completely bounded as well. Ooh, that is a nasty circulation right there. This is all range folded. Basically, you have such strong westerlies that they're showing up as strong inbound velocities when they're actually outbound velocities, but that's definitely where your circulation is setting up. Getting a lot larger, a lot stronger with time. The storm has already produced at least a needle funnel tornado and maybe even produced a more substantial one. You do have some indication of some scatterers that are larger than your normal raindrops. Might be lofting a little bit of debris as well. Definitely an easy chase out here to drop down on this storm. I do wonder if Mike Lascendro ended up getting one of those noodle tornadoes down here. I do think that as this storm moves off to the northeast, eventually up toward Winterset and eventually up toward Des Moines, I do think that this storm has the potential of even producing strong tornadoes as it gets a little bit closer to Orient as well. Thank you everybody for tuning in to my weather report live radar breakdown. It's happening right now. Yep. So right now we are breaking down this radar image. Breaking down this tornado warning storm. It's moving off to the northeast Orient. You need to be in your safe place. Willard was on it. He saw a noodle tornado on this storm near Corning as it's moving off to the northeast. Basically envisioned some really strong yellow colors there, outbound velocities, and your circulation is definitely tightening up on that northwest side. It is to the northwest of Cromwell by about 6 or 7 miles, heading directly toward Orient. So if you live in Orient, Iowa, take cover. Take cover. Certainly a dangerous storm is heading toward your location. Looks like it's going to pass to the south of Greenfield, Iowa, heading straight for the Orient area, eventually up toward Winterset, Patterson as well, moving off to the northeast. There's your mesocyclone. Pretty dangerous storm. There it is. Look at that. Definitely classic sickle shape, wrapping all the way around, wrapping around that mesocyclone, hooks coming around the backside. Looks like a little inflow channel there, a weak echo region in that storm, going southeast up off to the northeast. Certainly happening. Classic sickle cell shape. We also know that this storm is moving into a favorable environment for tornado potential. Got a couple renegades down here that are shipping a lot of precip downstream. I would say that that is in general an unfavorable configuration down there, but I still do expect some of these to go severe as well. Northern Missouri into far southern Iowa. The environment does get favorable upstream near the I-35 corridor, far south central Iowa. But just looking at the hodograph out of Des Moines, it has about a $120 0 to 1 kilometer shear. So there you can see that arc of supercell storms lifting southwest and northeast toward the Des Moines area. All the tornado warnings are around this one storm, and you can see the separation too with the arc. That's an elbow within this arc that's ejecting off to the northeast. So whenever you get those elbows like that, you'll usually get a break between your parent cell and the cell immediately off to its south. The problem in this case is that there are basically due southerly winds at the surface. So any storm that develops immediately off to its south is definitely going to get impeded by the cell that is immediately down off south of it. It's going to rain in its inflow. It's going to cool down and modify that inflow a little bit. But I am still watching these storms down near Mount Ayr, even though they are getting interference from the storms immediately off to their south. Still worth watching. But definitely want to watch near the tip of this hook-like appendage. It does look like it's pulling in most of its inflow right on the tip down here. Weak echo region as well. We've shifted over to the Des Moines radar to maybe get a little bit better look, a cleaner look at this storm. And there's that circulation. It does look like it's cycled a bit. There you can see the evolution of that mesocyclone passing just to the north of Prescott. And cycled again, and now it looks like that new circulation to the west-northwest of Creston, still on approach to Orient. Circulation starting to ramp up. Observed tornado. Not sure if that's the earlier report or if it is on the ground again. Let's see what we can see on dual pole products, correlation coefficient. What a mess. Absolute mess. Circulation's out there. Maybe down here, but that is a messy dual pole map. So I bet that's probably lifted and cycling again, but that is as of 3:53. So 7 minutes ago, confirmed tornado located near Lake Icaria, 8 miles northeast of Corning, moving northeast at 50. Moving quite fast. Weather spotters confirmed tornado. Any tornado is damaging. Oh, and I think we do have a debris drop right there. That looks like that could be a confirmed tornado that's in progress. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a big one. That looks like debris to me. That's a new update. Probably does have a big tornado on the ground. That's the new scan right there. That looks like debris. It's located right exactly where that should be as well. That's a possible tornado. Looks like a confirmed tornado, and it is heading toward Orient, Nevinville, Spalding, all locations in the path of this storm. Highway 25 up near Orient. You got Willard right on its ass end right now. Coming up behind it. He's at 61 over 61. He's been saturated the whole time out there. But there is that circulation just to the northeast of Willard. Looks like he's working a back road, headed west to east. Being on 25 would be a favorable spot to be as well, out on Highway 25 to the south of Orient. But there is that circulation. Let's take a look at the debris correlation on this, correlation coefficient. Yeah, that's a big tornado right now. Big tornado just to the south of Nevinville. Headed towards Spalding as well. Spalding, Orient. It's moving into that strong wind shear. There it is. Tornado happening just south of Nevinville. Dangerous tornadic storm. Destructive tornado on the ground right now. That is your debris drop. Debris correlation coefficient happening right there. Large tornado on the ground, heading toward Orient. On it right now. We are working it. I'm going to send out a tweet really quick, let everybody know that this thing is happening. Dangerous, destructive tornado headed toward the Orient area. So, really dangerous situation happening here. That's a debris correlation drop. Big time tornado in progress right now, heading towards Spalding and Orient. Confirmed. Damaging. Tornado. Heading toward Orient and Spalding. Take cover immediately. There it is right now. Still off to the northeast. It's just southeast of Nevinville. Looks like Willard's right on its ass end. There is the tornado. It's approaching Highway 25. Looks like it's narrowly going to miss Nevinville by about a mile to the southeast. So if you're in Nevinville, got to be in your safe place. That's a dangerous tornado just to the southeast of Nevinville. Kicking up debris right now. Got to go live as well on my Facebook here. On the book face. There we go. We are live. Tornado happening just to the southeast of Nevinville. We have a confirmed destructive tornado just to the southeast of Nevinville, Iowa. Everybody, I was just live on that earlier feed. Internet kicked me off on this one. But there is that circulation. It's about a mile to the southeast of Nevinville. This is a confirmed tornado. Radar confirmed as well. Moving off to the northeast at about 50 miles an hour. There you can see the debris ball. That's the debris indicator just to the southeast of Nevinville using a dual pole radar. The warning has certainly been expanded. It's heading toward Orient, Spalding, Iowa, downstream. Very dangerous tornadic supercell. These two towns, Orient and Spalding, need to be in your safe place. This is a debris ball, and it's getting lofted even higher up into the storm. Even a stronger debris indicator that's being indicated there. Would not be surprised if this is a very strong potentially even violent tornado as it's moving into an environment of 200 to 300, 0 to 1 kilometer shear. Classic cyclonically curved reflectivity pattern as well. Nevinville, this tornado is located right about there within that hook pattern, and that tornado has missed Nevinville maybe by a mile, but very close to Nevinville. Still want to be in your safe place. Orient, Spalding, got to be in your safe place. This is as dangerous as it gets in terms of tornado potential. Let's go on back out over to the velocity imagery. And there's that circulation. It is approaching Highway 25. Looks like the circulation is right about in there, just southeast of Nevinville, just a little ways. There you can see the radar loop. Looks like it tightened up just to the southeast of Nevinville. Maybe turning off to the right. So Spalding, looks like that tornado could be headed toward your location now. Let's take a look at the debris coefficient. See where the different scatterers, the different size are located. You can really see where that debris is located. Believe it's somewhere in here right now. It's possible the tornado has lifted and we're seeing more debris fall right now on approach to Highway 25. This is just to the southwest of Orient. That's where that circulation is located, just west-southwest of Spalding. If you're in Orient or Spalding, you got to be in your safe place right now. We are tracking this one dominant storm Not really seeing much in the way that's going to stop this thing. And long term, I do think that this storm could be heading toward the Des Moines area as well. You can track it long term, zoom way out as well. There you can see this supercell that we're tracking that is moving off to the northeast, eventually toward Des Moines. And I don't really see anything that's going to slow this down. The wind shear is only going to increase with time as the storm lifts off to the northeast, eventually approaching the I-35 corridor. You've also got some of these renegades that are moving out northern Missouri into far southern Iowa. But there's enough space between the tornado producer and those storms to certainly maintain clean inflow. This is that elbow region that I've been talking to you about a bulging front or dry line that's ejecting. This is the elbow, the knee, and that's why you want to target it, because a lot of times there are little breaks within that line. Sometimes just to the north of that elbow or the knee, you can get some more backing of the winds, more southeast to northwest oriented winds into those storms. You can also see that this one's out ahead of everything just a little bit more. So Orient, Spalding, definitely want to be in your safe place. There's the storm, clean inflow, and in fact, you got a little condensation inflow streamer coming into the north side of that mesocyclone right there. So close to saturation even that it'll condense. Even a little bit accelerated inflow will condense into that. Thank you guys so much for your super chats. Never stop chasing. And there it is. It looks like it might have cycled a little bit, which is good news, but still you want to be in your safe place along Highway 25, Orient to Spalding. But it looks like that tornado might have touched down, lofted debris, and now that debris is starting to fall out of the sky. Still, let's take a look. It has a classic look of debris that is falling out, but that's the debris signature right there. Looks like it was just southeast of Nevinville, maybe a couple of miles, 2 to 3 miles southeast of Nevinville. Possible that tornado is still in progress, still on approach to Highway 25. Let me verify really quick and see where that couplet's located relative to some of those larger scatters. I think that's probably just RFD, maybe some hail wrapping around in the RFD. Looks like it has cycled now. Still observed. Let's see what the latest report is. Still 353 hail, golf ball size hail also being reported by spotters. But Orient, you want to be in your safe place. Orient, Spalding, Iowa, Zion, Iowa as well, Hebron, all of those locations definitely want to be in your safe place as this renegade long track supercell now that we've been tracking since northern Missouri is now approaching Orient. Storms to the northwest have been blocked off, their inflow impeded, starting to get that Arctic boundary that's surging off to the south, starting to lose some of the tornado warnings up there with those storms. Still a severe thunderstorm warning on this one to the southwest of Greenfield, southeast of Messina. But this storm that's approaching the Orient area it should move roughly parallel to the gradient on the forward flank gust front. So it's going to continue to move off to the northeast. Eventually, we'll be up near the southwest side of Des Moines. A couple of hours or so from now, probably about 6 p.m. or so, is when this storm could be arriving into the Des Moines area. But there it is. We saw that tornado happen on radar. Watching this supercell as it's moving off to the northeast. Had a bunch of those tornado warnings that came out all at once for those storms off to the northwest of this one. Big hail core as well, just southwest of Orient. Orient, you're first going to get a period of hail. You're going to get some hail fall, golf balls falling from the sky. Might even get a couple of inches, maybe up to 6 inches of hail covering the ground in Orient. And then suddenly you'll get a break in the precipitation. Then you'll see a wall cloud that'll appear to the southwest. Probably will be rotating. Might even be a tornado if you can get into that rain-free air. Looks like that circulation just to the southwest of Orient. Looks like the circulation is going to cross I-25 to the south of Orient. And it appears to be cycling right now. It definitely peaked a little bit earlier. There's Willard dominating out there. Temperature is decreasing on the backside of the storm. He might be driving through some of that hail fog even. And wow, look at it start to dissipate as it's moving off to the east of Orient now. It is over Highway 25. It's possible that it's either cycling, reorganizing a bit. Looks like some rain that's also falling in that forward flank zone as well. But you can see the classic curvature to the reflectivity pattern around that mesocyclone that is to the south of Orient. Quite a bit of rain as well out ahead of the storm. Thank you, Bonnie Bailey. Thank you so much for that super chat. Good heavens. Not needed. I'm just breaking down radar. I should be out there storm chasing, working these. Just breaking down radar, multi-platform. Got the personalized stream here on Facebook. Yeah. Hi, everybody. That's not the storm live. That's one from Dora, New Mexico back in 2019. We're breaking down this tornado-warned storm. And look at that hail spike, everybody. Look at the hail spike to the southwest of Orient. Orient's getting blasted by hail, but a lot better to get blasted by hail than to have a tornado come through town. Looks like that circulation would be passing just to the southeast of Orient. Definitely classic supercell storm there. This is your type of storm that's even going to have a lot of hail and rain wrapping around in the hook. So you've got a lot of that rain and hail wrapping around the backside of that storm. Highway 25 as well, just to the west of Spalding. That's where the circulation is. Looking at the velocity, it does look like it might be cycling a bit as it's passing off to the southeast of Orient. Possible new circulation starting to get going to the northeast of Spalding. That's the new area to watch. It could. Winterset is upstream. They might drop the tornado warning, however, and just have a severe thunderstorm warning upstream. But the storm is heading in the direction of Winterset. It is moving southwest to northeast, this type of a direction. So you definitely want to keep an eye on that as it is heading off to the northeast. This is the new cycle. The old one is kind of lifted up into the core a little bit, dying out, but the new circulation just to the southeast of that one, moving off to the northeast, eventually impacting the Winterset area long term. Not sure if they're going to keep the tornado warning going or not. Omaha, you're in the clear. You're in the cold air. So Omaha, you are on the cold side of this system right now. No worries in Omaha. Go out and get a steak. Enjoy the winter-like temperatures out there across Omaha. It's off to the east. That is the big problem. But looks like this thing is definitely a big-time hail threat with that hail spike coming off the backside. Might be trying to get another circulation going. Did you see that last scan, how it was starting to get more of a cyclonic curvature to that reflectivity pattern? The Weather Service is monitoring the trends in radar here to see if another tornado warning is needed as it's ramping up, as I'm monitoring the trends as well. It does have a lot of storm relative inflow, so it's still a healthy, living, breathing organisms as it's living off to the northeast. Maxburg, Winterset, definitely need to keep an eye on this storm. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this radar breakdown. Yeah, new warning is inbound. New tornado warning. It makes sense just to extend that tornado warning eastward. That's just the camera that's making it look like that. You guys. Looks like the tornado warning has not been reissued yet, but I'm still waiting for it to come back in. Could just be a lag here in the product. The rotation is definitely getting more diffuse with time. You do have that area of storm relative inflow that's coming in. Maxburg, Winterset, still need to keep an eye on this. Just waiting for that warning to pop up. It might be, though, that we've kind of passed that area of decoupling. But it still has that area of strong storm relative inflow coming into the southeast side of the storm. No, I haven't been able to shave. I've had this varsity tutor class that I've been preparing for that's coming up on March 10. Also wanted to finish my crystal video. I also had that bomb cyclone video for Flex Seal to finish that I haven't uploaded yet, but I'll get that uploaded as well. And I definitely do have some family issues here at home and I'm staying back for. That's why I didn't get on the plane to head up into southwestern Iowa. And then I might monitor Sunday night, maybe Monday, to get back into storm chase mode. But Monday looks like the shear is ejecting. It's kind of on the tail end of that shear on Monday across eastern Tennessee, northern Alabama, and Georgia. But it does look like the tornado warning has been allowed to expire so far, which is good news, but we are going to continue tracking this storm as it lifts off to the northeast. Still a very healthy supercell storm. Let's see what the echotops look like to see if it's the thermodynamics are changing a little bit as the storm's moving east. That looks like an old image. That's an old image showing you as that's approaching from the southwest. So I do wonder if my tornado warnings just are not updating on the app here. But it definitely is getting a little less organized. The tornadic portion of this storm would have been off to the northwest. It does look like Vince saw that tornado, probably near the Cornish area. So congratulations to Vince for getting that tornado. Right now, that supercell is between Greenfield and Maxburg right now. Still lifting off to the northeast. We're going to keep on watching this as it heads northeast toward Des Moines. Winterset, you want to keep an eye on this storm as well, off to your southwest. Keep a close eye. Lift it off to the northeast. The wind shear continues to increase, but the thermodynamics are becoming slightly less favorable now with time. These storms out into southern Iowa petered out a little bit, so the environment is definitely not supportive of storms down there, at least in southern Iowa, probably due to the interference of these storms down into northern Missouri that are starting to dominate. Eventually, it's going to unzip down this whole entire line. But there it is. Wow. Storm continues to move off to the northeast, but so far, that tornado warning has been allowed to expire. Be right back. Stay tuned. Tornado warning is back. Maxburg, Winterset. There is that tornado warning back issued. The storm still has produced tornadoes, at least a couple of tornadoes. And it looks like the strongest rotation is starting to set up now right over Zion, Iowa. That's to the west-southwest of Maxburg. Vince got a decent look at it earlier as a nipple funnel with a little bit of a dirt circulation underneath. Definitely not a large tornado, but very nice tornado intercept by Vince Whaley. And now we're watching this storm. It's definitely starting to rain in the inflow region. Hebron down toward Maxburg, east of Zion. All of this is rain slightly into the inflow region. Really the most dangerous portion of the storm is probably back. This is your old circulation. You got a new one starting to develop down along the southeastern side. Little inflow notch down here as well to the east of Zion. It's definitely trying to cycle, getting an unusual looking appearance to it. And it looks like it's getting a little decoupled. The most dangerous portion of the storm would be up here near Hebron, but to the east of Zion. Also, that's where all your storm relative inflow is located. So it's gusting out a little bit. Storm is breathing out. Let's take this time to take a look now at the VAD profile updated in Des Moines. This is the hodograph that we're such big fans of here. Gives you an idea of the kinematics that this storm is moving into. And this looks weird in Des Moines. Southwest to northeast, low-level jet of 30 knots. That's subsiding, losing some of your 0 to 1 kilometer shear. So that's not a hodograph that's supportive of tornadoes upstream in Des Moines right now. And that's updated. That's 2204Z, 22Z, 4 p.m. Obviously, it's updated. New mesoscale discussion as of 36 minutes ago. Increasing tornado threat for the southern mode. 61 over 59 down there. You've got those couple of storms out on the Missouri side that we were monitoring. And the wind shear is only going to increase as those storms move into that environment. Across northern Missouri and far southern Iowa, the 0 to 1 kilometer shear increases to above 250 to even 300 along that layer. I do expect some of these northern storms, including our tornado producer, to start to die out. And then this southern mode will move into that pocket, that environment. Tornado watch does extend until 8 p.m. Let's take a look at what these are nested within now. There's your banana-shaped surface low. And that was a negative for tornado potential. That's why we're not having a larger scale tornado outbreak. You have a less compact of a surface low that's ejecting. Has this kind of elongated shape that ships all the backed winds a little bit further north on the stable side, kind of veers out the surface winds a little bit, but you still have enough wind shear to generate that tornado threat. And look at now, you're 200 plus all the way back to these renegade storms developing across northern Missouri. And it's still, the wrap shows over the next 2 hours from 4 to 6 p.m. a reinvigoration of those storms on approach to the I-35 corridor that includes Des Moines, but especially south of Des Moines. And look at that blob of 400 plus 0 to 1 kilometer shear that sets up over south central Iowa, north central Missouri. Let's go back on over to our tornado warned storm. Still looks broad. I'll go live on my Facebook as well, multi-platform stream here. It's 2022, might as well do multi-platform. Going live. I'm live again. We did have a continuance of our tornado warning that does include the Winterset area. McPherson, Harrison is in the inflow region. But the storm is starting to look like this Frankenstein freak show type supercell. Basically, the old circulation is embedded within this large hail and the comma head. You've got a surging RFD structure out here. You've got rain in the inflow region, so you definitely have a lot of stratiform rain within the inflow region feeding up into that comma head. You do have your surging RFD structure surging through Hebron. Look at that curved RFD westerlies carving out that comma head. Big hail falling right there to the southwest of Webster, Iowa. Harrison, Winterset, you want to be in your safe place. You are included in that tornado warning. But the good news is that the storm is looking less organized. It did produce a tornado earlier near Corning. Vince was on it. Looked like a nipple type funnel rotating above with a dirt circulation underneath. And you can definitely see quite a bit of hail that's encapsulating that comma head circulation, lifting off to the northeast. Winterset, beautiful town here as well. Let's take a look at the dual pole products. And we're not going to see anything lofting up. We are probably going to see a hail core up in here. Definitely see some sporadic large hail with this. Looks like it's the largest hail is falling just to the southeast of that comma head. A lot of big hail up there within that bulbous comma head there as well. RFD starting to surge out. Look at that RFD structure there. A lot of rain that's falling within that inflow zone with those southeasterlies that are streaming into this storm. But the rotation is relatively weak within that comma head. Maybe right here is where you could get some windy conditions, maybe some wind-driven hail as well up in that area. Your storm relative inflow displace off to the southeast near the Maxburg area, but I'm not seeing any tight rotation yet. Looks to me like this storm is starting to lose its punch a little bit. But we do have the new mesoscale discussion for these storms off to the south. And this one is now severe, now in northern Missouri. Here's the I-35 corridor. Eagleville, back toward Martinsville, Albany, Missouri. Seen a bunch of tornadoes there along that Highway 136 corridor. These ones now are moving into an environment of strengthening wind shear, even though that's our tornado-warned storm still at the apex of the arc. It does look like this storm is going to be the next mode, and the Storm Prediction Center does have a mesoscale discussion for that area. There's your egg-shaped surface low. Could show you that mesoscale discussion really quick as well. And the egg-shaped surface low that really prevented a larger scale tornado outbreak from happening today, but you still had one damaging tornado that definitely lofted debris. But that elongated egg-shaped surface low that's a little bit weaker, about 1,000 millibar surface low. It didn't eject as that 992 to 993 surface low, which probably would have led to even a potential tornado outbreak. But it only takes one tornado to cause big problems. We've already had one tornado. I don't think there were big problems caused, but this type of wind shear could cause big problems down into south central Iowa and north central Missouri. That's a pretty favorable environment for even a strong tornado threat. So as those storms come out of northern Missouri from Albany up toward far southern Iowa, I don't think Villisca was hit. Corning was very close to getting hit. Looked like it was just outside of town. That was from this storm. That is now a winter set is now included in that warning. It's definitely cycling. Your old comma head is now peeling off as a left split. Vortex shedding, lifting off to the north. This is a new circulation, but it is starting to look like it's a bit outflow dominant. That's just to the north of the Maxburg area. Waiting for this circulation to reinvigorate, but that's why the warning has been continued, because of that circulation just to the northeast of Maxburg, maybe 5 to 10 miles right now. Large swath of storm relative inflow as well. You can see the bright green color, big inflow starting to stream into that mesocyclone. Willard is behind it a little bit now. He's probably uploading his tornado photos. Not a lot of cooling behind these storms, but there will be once that Arctic front starts to sag a little bit further south. Look at those storms on satellite. Wow. And you can see the stable air just out ahead of those storms. There was a narrow window that came up into southwestern Iowa for that storm to go. That's your tornado producer right there. Look at those gravity waves getting sent out by the overshooting top. Wow. Let me show this to you guys as well. Look at our storms. So that was the tornado producer, and you can see how there was some stable air out ahead of it with those gravity wave clouds, the wave clouds on top of that stable air. And then look at that overshooting top and the concentric gravity waves out from that overshooting top, showing you that that is obviously a very mature supercell storm, maybe too mature. But then down here, further south, this is what we're watching for the next tornado potential for those storms that are coming out of far northern Missouri, down near the border as well. We're getting a little bit closer to sunset now, but the environment is getting more conducive for tornado potential, straddled along that Iowa-Missouri border. Hopefully that shallow convective inhibition, that stable air at the surface that's causing those hoagie bun type clouds, will be enough to curtail the tornado potential, but the wind shear is ramping up, and never underestimate the potential of dynamic piping for a low-level mesocyclone to drill through a stable layer located at the ground. And yeah, we were watching that hail spike near Orient. Not surprised that there was tennis ball hail up there. It's all about that dry slot that comes in the mid-levels of the atmosphere that we've been analyzing leading up to this event. So thank you everybody for tuning in to my weather reports today. It did look like it was a relatively weak tornado, so I don't think it was a large destructive one, even out near Orient. But if it would have hit something, it's still going to cause problems. Even if they look like a nipple funnel, a lot of times those tornadoes can even be more intense. We still do have our tornado warning, but that circulation is not looking as favorable on approach to the Winterset area. There you can see that circulation. It's a little bit more broad. You do have that region of storm relative inflow flowing into the mesocyclone to the west of Winterset. And echotops, I would imagine, are also coming down a little bit. If I had to guess. Well, they're still pretty high. But on the storm back behind it is really what's lifting up. Could have been an old outdated product. Still have an HP elevated supercell. Apparently it's observed, the tornado. 4:21 p.m., 10 minutes ago, a confirmed tornado located 10 miles northeast of Green Valley Lake, or 11 miles northeast of Creston, moving northeast at 40. Weather spotters confirmed. But boy, it doesn't look like it produced, but you never know. It could have easily produced one right in the notch there. That's the inflow notch, the apex of the RFD. But this storm is kind of giving its last gasp a little bit on approach to Winterset. So still, stay in your safe place until that tornado warning is allowed to expire. A little bit surprised that it had a tornado report as of 10 minutes ago. Maybe a little evidence of a bird fart right there, southwest of Winterset. Could easily be a little debris getting lofted up by a noodle out there to the southwest of Winterset. Possible debris signature getting indicated. Looks like a smaller tornado, but I don't think so. It looks like that's just, well, looks like that dark. It might be, or especially there. North of McPherson. Possible tornado. Headed up toward Winterset. Buffalo areas. Certainly want to potentially be in your safe place as that debris signature is moving from west to east toward Winterset, Buffalo areas. That's right coincident with that couplet. And there it is. So I do think that is a tornado. Looks like a relatively brief tornado. There you can see it. Just to the southwest of Winterset. You'd be able to probably see this from the southwest side, just because it's relatively early season out in Iowa. But that is where that dangerous storm is now located. Kind of surprised it was able to squeeze one out on the southwest side here. Quick cycle, and then that southwest side. Look at that hook-like appendage wrapping all the way around now. Headed up toward Winterset. Hook-like appendage, definitely another tornado that just happened. Hail core up off to the north. Old circulation's getting re-ingested up into the hail core. So there's your hook-like appendage wrapping all the way around. Inflow coming in on the north side of that hook bulb. Northwest of Ord, Iowa as well. Confirmed tornado. We can see a debris signature with it. The wind shear continues to increase for this storm, as we're also watching those storms off to the south. Yeah, that is a tornado right there. Winterset, get in your safe place. Buffalo, safe place. You've got a potentially damaging nipple funnel that's heading southwest to northeast toward your location. New tornado. Just southwest of Winterset. That's where the circulation would be. Also watching these storms back near the border, down near the Missouri border, that are starting to look a little bit better. Look at that split. Classic split with that storm. Left split lifting off to the north. Right mover starting to dominate. Watch out in Osceola from this storm. These smaller compact storms that'll split like this, you definitely got a ramping up mesocyclone on that one. This one starting to dominate as well right near the border. This is the Missouri border. And then the one down near Martinsville. These are going to be moving into an environment of increasing wind shear with time. That's just to the northwest of Bethany. We'll have to keep an eye on that storm as well. But this is your tornado producer. Still observed. Hail up to 2 inches in diameter. 425. So that was as of 10 minutes ago. Tornado located 11 miles northeast of Green Valley Lake. So it is getting closer to Winterset. Wonder if that's Willard calling in the reports. Probably very visible from well to the southwest are these circulations. There's your storm relative inflow zone, weak echo region, streaming up toward that circulation. There's Winterset, Iowa. Circulation just to the southwest. And there it is. There's your intense rotation coming into Winterset and Buffalo. Right now, strong rotation. Likely tornado. Observed tornado as of 10 minutes ago that's coming into Winterset. So Winterset and Buffalo, get in your safe place. Tileville upstream as well. Definitely a dangerous circulation that's headed toward your town. Yeah, sirens need to be going off in Winterset as well. Hope you're in your safe place. The couplet is right there just to the southwest. Probably crossing 169 right now, just on the southwest side of Winterset. We are tracking the storm as it's moving southwest to northeast. It's already produced a couple of tornadoes. Now it's approaching Winterset. Very well-defined hook-like appendage on the southwest side of the storm, moving off to the northeast toward Winterset. Big inflow coming in on the east side, a weak echo region. Definitely strong rotation and confirmed tornado with the debris signature right now. There it is. There's your tornado. Coming into Winterset here. It is approaching 169 on the southwest side of Winterset. Buffalo headed toward your location. There's the storm again with those gravity waves. Wow. Tornado definitely still in progress. Has a debris signature. Southwest side of Winterset coming into town here. Highway 92, 169. That's the area of interest. There's your hook-like appendage on the southwest side. It's going to eventually come into Winterset. Definitely tornado in progress coming into Winterset. We're going to stay live here. There's the rotation. Let's loop this. It's probably a little bit of a smaller tornado, but still capable of producing damage. There it is, just to the southwest of Winterset. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in right now. We do have a confirmed tornado, nipple tornado, with debris signature that's coming into Winterset, Iowa right now. Looks like it has crossed Highway 92 now. Likely that enhanced reflectivity is the tornado right at the bulb. You can see your RFD bulging out like that near the Buffalo area. And it looks like it's about to hit Buffalo or come into Winterset right now. That's the latest scan. Looked like it was cycling and getting less organized. That is it. Definitely within that bulb. That's where the tornado is located. Southwest side of Winterset right now. It's probably going to pass halfway between Winterset and Buffalo. Debris happening right now. Southwest side of Winterset. Dangerous, destructive, tornadic situation happening here. Tornado coming into Winterset. Confirmed tornado was located near Winterset, moving northeast at 50. Tornado warning remains in effect. Tree damage is likely, so it must be a ground report is suggesting a weaker tornado, but it's lofting debris for sure. There's the new tornado warning, and it is radar indicated now, but that looks like it might be dumping debris near Winterset. I believe the spotter reports that there's a tornado in progress right there. You can see the tight rotation. Looks like it passed just south side of Winterset, between Winterset and Buffalo right now. That's where that tornado is located, waiting for that next radar scan. New warning says it's a radar indicated circulation. And it does look like it might have just, but it's very close to Winterset. I think you've got probably a mesocyclone causing tree damage, causing destruction in Winterset right now. Hopefully it'll hop over town. Yeah, I remember that person that was asking about Winterset earlier. Tahoeville, Patterson, Norwalk. Des Moines, you're included in the tornado warning now. So this circulation, we've been tracking this storm for a long time. Des Moines, you are now included in that tornado warning. There's Des Moines. There's the I-80 corridor as well. So Winterset, right now, I do believe that there was a tornado just to the southwest of town. You're very close to that tornado now. The tornado is very close to you right now in Winterset. The time right now, 4:42 Central Standard Time. And it looks like kind of a larger mesocyclone with diffuse, more compact circulations inside. Looks like the main tornado is still off to the southwest of Winterset a little bit. Might be doing a quick cycle as well. Looks like a little bit of expiring debris back near that old one. Who knows? Maybe not. Might just be cycling. Yeah, that's associated with a radar artifact there. So it does look like it might have hopped over Winterset, the circulation. But there it is. It sure looks like a bulbous, enhanced area of reflectivity right at the tip of the hook over the southeast side of Winterset. Here's Highway 92, Tahoeville, Patterson, McBride. Storm just went through the Winterset area. Still continues off to the northeast. I do expect wind shear to continue to increase as the storm moves off to the northeast as well. So forecast models show that even though the wind shear up at the airport has subsided a little bit, it's probably greater just off to the south of Des Moines. Take a look at the hodograph in real time now. Look at that front march southeast. And then the storms out ahead of the Arctic front. The Arctic front not moving as fast as the storms. I believe it still is on the ground, dancing to the east of Winterset. Do want to look at the wind shear upstream as well, which we know it's increasing. This is by 0Z, still that blob of 400, 0 to 1 kilometer shear that this storm is moving into. And then eventually it's going to line out and then push off to the east. So the hodograph doesn't look incredible out of Des Moines. Flip over on OBS as well. There's that hodograph. So it doesn't look incredibly impressive. Your 1 kilometer wind is quite veered, back at about 35 knots. But I think it's getting contaminated a little bit by nearby convection. Your 0 to 1 kilometer shear, just in excess of about 150, 0 to 1 kilometer. Storm relative helicity, due southerly surface wind of about 7-8 knots. And but I know that just to the south central Iowa, where we were just looking at the RAP analysis, that the environment definitely does get more favorable, especially to the south of Des Moines. So I think that the radar site is getting a little bit contaminated to the north of the storm, and I bet that if that radar site was located further south, we'd have a pretty incredible hodograph presentation, probably conducive for tornado potential. Looks like that tornado is just to the east of Winterset right now. So 3 minutes ago, you can see that area of enhanced reflectivity right at the tip of the hook. That's likely where that tornado is located. And it looks like there's a little enhanced area. So right along Highway 92 to the east of Winterset, I believe that is still a tornado. Patterson, you want to get in your safe place. Bevington as well, get in your safe place. That's a classic compact hook. You have this compact RFD structure, RFD arc right there. Tornado right on the northern portion of that RFD. So Patterson, Bevington, Martinsdale, get in your safe place. Dangerous storm. You can see all the reflectivity echoes wrapping all the way around. Everything trying to go in toward that low pressure. Pretty obvious tornadic supercell here. And it's right at the tip. So this thing is nasty. Almost looks like that's... Looks like there's a big tornado now to the east of Winterset. Pretty sure that's a big tornado right there, folks. Yeah, that's the big tornado. Still observed, obviously. Particularly dangerous situation. Confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado located over Winterset, moving northeast at 50. PDS situation. Particularly dangerous situation now as that violent tornado continues to move off to the east. Obviously, it's been observed. A big debris field halfway between Winterset and Patterson right now. Dangerous, destructive tornado. Not surprising because the wind shear is ramping up so much as well, but that's halfway between Winterset and Patterson. Pretty dangerous, that debris ball happening right there. Large debris circulation. PDS, Norwalk, Cumming, Spring Hill, Carlisle, south side of Des Moines, all those locations. Get your safe place. Dangerous situation. Tornadic supercell moving off to the northeast. Large destructive tornado likely. That is a big time mesocyclone. Looks like it's just to the north now of Highway 92. That's a large destructive tornado just to the north of Tioville, northwest of Patterson, south of McBride. It's going to pass just to the north of Patterson, just lifted north of Highway 92 there. Definitely large tornado happening northwest of Patterson, Tioville. That is the dangerous supercell storm. Yep, it is a PDS warning right now. Breaking it down live. Full platform, multi-platform stream. We're just breaking down those photographs up near the Des Moines area. So this is a dangerous tornadic supercell. Large tornado, large destructive tornado lifting off to the northeast. It's going to pass halfway between McBride and the Patterson area as it lifts off to the northeast. Looks like it's back here near Tioville. That's where the main tornado is located. Strong tornado right over Highway 92 as of about 3 minutes ago. Destructive, large tornado right over Highway 92. Dangerous situation. PDS. There you can see that large debris ball over Highway 92. Destructive tornado moving off to the northeast. Live multi-platform stream. There it is. It looks like it's going to pass very close. There's the dangerous debris ball. Now north of Highway 92, just north of Patterson. There it is. Just to the northwest of Patterson by a couple of miles. It is approaching Highway 35. So here is I-35 just off to the east. Just off to the east. I-35. Particularly dangerous situation here. That's the debris ball that we're seeing just to the northwest of Patterson. Well defined. This thing is absolutely rocketing. Debris getting rocketed up through the storm. Looking at pictures right now of this tornado. Large tornado in Iowa, everybody. Oh, it's huge. Huge wedge tornado now. Wow, it is an enormous tornado in Winterset. Large wedge tornado that came into Winterset. People getting drone video of it. Just mass chaos out there. Holy cow. PDS situation. Large tornado heading toward I-35. This is it. That is the tornado. Large wedge that is just to the north of Patterson. There you can see that circulation. Large tornado approaching I-35 south of Des Moines. Here's I-35 and it's not very far south of Des Moines. Looks like it's going to pass just to the north of the Bevington area. Large destructive tornado. Wedge tornado. Potential tornado. Very dangerous PDS tornado warning. Here's I-35 just to the east of it. This is I-35 right here. This is the destructive tornado. That's the debris circulation. Right now, that wedge is passing just to the north of Patterson as that wind shear is increasing to above 300 to 400. There you can see the reflectivity pattern. Very well-defined tornado. Sorry, I just had to restart this stream. Facebook kicked the stream off, but it is approaching I-35. It's going to pass to the north of Bevington, between Bevington and Cumming. That's where that tornado is going to pass. Large, destructive wedge tornado lifting off to the northeast. I was just looking at Twitter, saw the very large wedge that is going to be approaching I-35 right now. It was near Winterset where that wedge was located. Definitely debris and damage that was reported back near Winterset. We saw that debris get lofted high up into the storm, and now it continues to push off to the east. This is a PDS, particularly dangerous situation type of a tornado warning. This is approaching I-35, south of Cumming, north of Bevington. Dangerous, destructive tornado. And there you can see that debris ball just passing to the north of Patterson. Eventually it is going to be approaching I-35. Very dangerous, destructive tornado, dangerous situation. And there it is. There is that tornado. It is approaching I-35. It's going to be to the north of Bevington, about halfway between Cumming and Bevington. That's where the circulation is located. Dangerous, destructive tornado, large wedge tornado that is approaching I-35. It's going to pass halfway between Bevington and Cumming. You can see all the very smooth laminar reflectivity flowing into that big circulation. Everything curls on into it. Easterly winds up on top. Everything flowing into that circulation. Big tornado on the south side of this storm. We are going to be going live until this is done. Churchville, get your safe place. Cumming, Norwalk, get your safe place. South side of Des Moines, Des Moines, get your safe place. Avon, Des Moines Airport, right in the path of this storm now. There's the Des Moines Airport, DSM, right in the path of this dangerous storm, heading directly toward your location. Looking at the debris ball. Observe tornado. It's going to be headed south side of Des Moines, headed right toward Des Moines. Large, destructive tornado, potentially strong, violent tornado here moving off to the northeast. That's approaching I-35 to the north of Bevington, between Bevington and Cumming. There it is. Dangerous tornado confirmed. Dangerous situation heading off to the northeast. That's I-35. If you're halfway between Bevington and Cumming, destructive tornado feeding off of that 300 plus 0 to 1 kilometer shear, moving off to the northeast. There's your debris ball. Very intense debris signature on this storm moving off to the northeast. It's going to be halfway between Bevington and Cumming. Large destructive tornado moving off to the northeast, approaching I-35. Look at that. Big circulation, big inflow, weak echo region. It is definitely still on the ground, Darcy. Dangerous tornado that's heading straight between Bevington and Cumming. Dangerous, destructive, tornadic supercell. Not sure how we could say that in many different ways, but we just got to keep saying it. It looks like this storm is starting to turn more to the north, bringing it a little bit closer to Cumming. I think that this supercell is going to pass just to the south of Cumming, very close to the I-35 corridor as well. Massive hook, big velocity signature, very strong rotation, southwest to northeast, approaching I-35. Still daylight out there, obviously. About as dangerous as it gets. This is the early season setup. Moving northeast. It's going to pass just to the south of Cumming. Norwalk, get your safe place. West Des Moines, actual Des Moines, downtown. Des Moines Airport. This thing is heading toward downtown Des Moines. Monster tornado. Big time wedge on the ground. Headed toward your location. Got to get in your safe place. Probably need to change that. Browser out there. Just go to the regular. And there it is. Destructive tornado. It's going to pass pretty close to the Cumming area. Right on I-35. It is starting to shimmy a little bit further north as it matures. I'd say it's going to pass just a couple of miles to the south of Cumming on I-35, and then we'll head up toward the Norwalk area. Right near the DSM airport, right near Des Moines Airport. Definitely could get a very dangerous, destructive tornado headed toward your location. There's the Des Moines Airport. Further north, here is I-80. There's the destructive tornado moving off to the northeast. Norwalk, Cumming. Locations directly in the path of this storm. Very dangerous, destructive tornado. There it is. There's that very strong rotation that you could see. As dangerous as it gets. Oh, come on. App. There we go. So there is the strong rotation. Just to the west, due west of Churchville, but the circulation is going to pass I-35 just to the south of Cumming and eventually head up toward Norwalk. There's the Des Moines Airport as well, DSM, just upstream. Definitely a very strong, violent tornado as it's moving off to the northeast. Looked a lot like Rochelle in northern Illinois there, that destructive tornado. And here it is, approaching I-35. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is a violent tornado. Maybe even worse, just because of that shallow, stable layer at the surface and the strong wind shear ramping up. There's the tornado starting to approach I-35. Looks like it's going to maybe cross a little bit further south near Fillmore Street. Crossing right near Fillmore Street and I-35. That's where that circulation is going to cross. And a very destructive tornado. Hopefully it hasn't done any damage, but this is a very populated area here, obviously. Debris signature. Closing in on I-35. Definitely a dangerous situation. Right near Fillmore Street, Western Avenue. Tornado is crossing I-35 right now, on approach to I-35, halfway between Cumming and Bevington. There's the debris. Approaching I-35 right now. Eventually it's going to be onto Norwalk, Des Moines International Airport as well. Locations off to the northeast certainly could get impacted. Let's stream this as well. Show this starting to move closer to I-35. There it is, everybody. That's the tornado. Classic tornadic signature. Northerly wind streaming into this. That's your vorticity current. Potential vorticity current streaming into this. Horizontal vorticity getting basically a tube of vorticity streaming into this mesocyclone and then getting tilted into the vertical, and that's when it becomes a tornado. But there you can see that tornadic circulation crossing I-35 at Fillmore Street right about now. Very compact circulation. This is what happens when you have a tornadic supercell that moves into an environment characterized by very strong low-level wind shear. You can see everything trying to flow into this tornado. All the wind flowing into it. Northerlies on the backside. Southerlies on the south side. There it is. It just crossed I-35. This thing is accelerating also. Crossed right at the Fillmore Street, Western Avenue intersection. Right near I-35. Waiting for the new velocity scan. And there's the debris signature. Crossing I-35 at Fillmore Street. I-35 and Fillmore Street, potentially deadly situation as this tornado crossing I-35. There's Fillmore Street. Here's Norwalk. Norwalk, get in your safe place. Potentially deadly storm is heading toward your location. There's the debris signature upstream. Major circulation heading toward Norwalk. Strong rotation over Fillmore Street. There's the circulation. Very strong rotation over Fillmore Street and I-35 headed toward Norwalk. Norwalk, Iowa. Get in your safe place. Dangerous tornado headed toward your location. Des Moines International Airport. You're in the path of this tornado as well. Storm chasers are all over it, moving into populated areas. Destructive tornado. Worst case scenario. PDS, particularly dangerous situation on this. There's your tornado headed up toward Norwalk. Just crossed I-35, near Fillmore Street, and that is moving off to the northeast toward Norwalk, Lakewood, eventually past it just to the southeast of Des Moines International Airport. Dangerous situation here, as dangerous as it gets. The most dangerous. Zooming in on that tornado. There it is. Debris getting launched by this tornado. Very dangerous, life-threatening situation. Lives definitely being threatened by this tornado as it's heading toward Norwalk. Highway 28 in the Norwalk area is next. You're right in line with this storm. Destructive tornado has just crossed I-35 to the south of Cumming, heading toward the Norwalk area. Strong rotation right at the tip of the hook. Absolutely textbook type of a tornadic situation here. It's just to the east of I-35. Breaking it down live. Iowans, classic, very compact supercell. Cumming, you're about to be in the core, the hail core of this, and that tornado is going to cross just to the southeast of Cumming, and it's going to hit Norwalk, potentially, and then continue off to the northeast, pass it very close to the Des Moines International Airport, and eventually even further northeast from there. Very compact supercell storm, strong tornado on it, headed up toward the Norwalk area. Des Moines International Airport as well is in the path of this. There's the tornado, waiting for this scan to update. Come on, radar. Time is just going by really slow as this life-threatening situation is emerging over Des Moines. Let's take a look at the VAD profile in Des Moines. Interesting. Might be some type of a radar artifact happening here too. There is the VAD. Surprisingly unsupportive of tornadoes right at the airport in the path of this. Might be the airport on the north side. Wow. Norwalk, it is definitely confirmed. Destructive tornado heading into your location. Large wedge tornado heading into Norwalk. Avon area is upstream as well. Dangerous destructive tornado anchored in with that surface low, and it is curling around on itself too, so it's getting worse. It's already a damaging tornado. There it is, destructive tornado. Velocities folded all over the place. So this thing is doing mass damage heading into Norwalk right now. There's that dangerous circulation just to the southwest of Norwalk. Coming directly into town. Highway 28, you're next. Norwalk. It's coming right toward your location. That's the destructive tornado. Big debris circulation as well. Norwalk, you got to get in your safe place. This is as dangerous as it can get in terms of tornadoes. There's the debris signature as well, just to the southwest of Norwalk. That's the debris signature. Dual pole radar. Southwest to northeast. Norwalk, definitely need to get in your safe place. Oh no, it is on the ground. Definitely on the ground. We're looking at it right now. Headed toward Norwalk. Confirmed tornado. PDS type situation. Dangerous tornado. 4:57 p.m. 8 minutes ago. Confirmed large, extremely dangerous tornado was located near Norwalk. Moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Tornado is going to be very close to Norwalk any minute. Got to get in your safe place. As dangerous as it gets. Dangerous tornado heading into Norwalk. It's going to pass very close to the airport. Weather Service, that's why the photograph doesn't look as favorable up near that radar site on the north side of Des Moines. A little bit of convective contamination, but then you have this perfect supercell storm heading into the Norwalk area right now in terms of dangerous tornado potential, dangerous situation. Norwalk, get underground, get in your storm shelter. That's a confirmed tornado, damaging tornado. We're seeing it on radar here. Lofting debris high up into the atmosphere. There's that debris signature. 3 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago. There it is, coming into Norwalk, everybody. Large wedge tornado. It's coming very close to the Des Moines International Airport. I think, well, it could come very close to the airport. No reason to speculate. If you're in the airport, take shelter, get in your safe place. Tornado threatening the Des Moines International Airport. That's your tornado. You can see the debris signature. See it in the correlation coefficient right there. That's debris getting lofted by this storm. Strong rotation, of course. And there it is. It's passing just to the south of Norwalk right now. You can see that debris ball. That's the tornado. Very close to the Norwalk area. Crossing Highway 28, just south of Norwalk. Basically in Norwalk. Does appear that Norwalk is taking a direct hit right now. 1 minute ago, debris getting lofted into from Norwalk. Norwalk, Iowa is taking a direct hit, it appears, from a destructive tornado. Maybe just south of Norwalk, but very close. Probably went right through town. There's the Des Moines International Airport just to the northwest. This tornado will likely continue to go off to the northeast, paralleling that forward flank gust front boundary. Should continue to move off to the due northeast, eventually crossing Highway 5 just southeast of the Des Moines International Airport. Yeah, Norwalk is taking a direct hit from a strong, potentially violent, likely violent tornado right now. Wind shear ramping up. That's the surface low storm. And we also have this supercell that's approaching Highway 65 across far southern Iowa. And this dangerous storm into far northern Missouri to the south of Pleasanton also could be developing some tornado potential. Wind shear is definitely ramping up all along this convective line. But this is the most dangerous storm right now. Wedge tornado happened in Des Moines. There's that dangerous tornado crossing Highway 28 just to the south of Norwalk. Areas upstream. Looks like it's going to pass north of Scotch Ridge, just south of the Des Moines International Airport. It's going to be threatening Highway 5 and 69 next. That intersection is going to be next. Get in your safe place anywhere inside this tornado warning because this is a PDS, dangerous situation. A lot of reflectivity here is likely debris getting lofted up into the air from that tornado. This probably winds up close to 200 miles an hour inside of this tornado. Whether those will be real sampled and damaged or not, I hope not. But, you know, it's definitely not a good idea to estimate wind speeds of a tornado as it's happening, especially I don't have any visual of the tornado yet. I still need to look at Twitter, look at Storm Chaser's visual as well. I haven't seen any damage yet, just breaking down real-time radar information to try to warn people on the path of this storm right now. But yeah, really bad damage and winter set. That is a dangerous circulation. Let's take a look at the debris signature, see if we can see exactly where this debris coefficient is located. And there it is. It's approaching 69 and Highway 5 intersection. There is that tornado just to the south of Highway 5, moving off to the northeast. Dangerous tornado approaching the intersection of 69 and Highway 5. So debris is getting lofted to the east of Norwalk. It does appear Norwalk got very close, possible direct hit, maybe just to the south of Norwalk, but continues to move off to the northeast, heading toward the intersection of Highway 69 and also 5. Right now it's very close to Southwest 9th Street, probably a little bit further to the east as it's moving off to the northeast at 50 miles an hour. Very populated area here as well. Looks like Willard is back and damaged and winter set. Maybe doing search and rescue back there. Definitely large destructive tornado came into Winterset. Here's where the tornado's located now. It definitely is approaching 69 and Highway 5, just to the south of Highway 5 by a block or so. It's probably right over Highway 5 now. Likely approaching Highway 69, Highway 5 as well. There's the rotation just off to the south. That's the circulation. Moving off to the northeast, Highway 69, Highway 5 appears to be getting impacted next. There's the circulation just to the west-southwest of the intersection of Highway 5 and Highway 69. Strong rotation, massive hook. Massive hook here. There's the airport. So you're in the core right now of this supercell. Probably getting blasted by hail up in the airport. If you're hunkered down in the airport, that tornado is moving just to your southeast, crossing Highway 5 near the 69 Highway 5 intersection, due east of the International Airport now. So at least the good news is that that tornado is crossing just to the southeast of the airport. There's that circulation, waiting for the new radar update. Avon, Carlisle, Pleasant Hill included in that new warning. Carlisle, Avon. There's the new warning, obviously still observed. Still big problems. National Weather Service in Des Moines confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado. PDS continues, particularly dangerous situation, of course. Damage down in Winterset. Pretty substantial damage down in Winterset. There's your circulation just to the south of Highway 5. We're watching it here live right now. It's probably crossing Highway 5 already. Probably crossing that intersection of Highway 5 and Highway 69. And then it's going to continue off to the northeast. Areas like Levy, Avon, Hasty, Woodland Hills, Prairie City, Mitchellville, Colfax. Newton, Iowa, get ready. You're on Highway 80. This thing, I don't really see anything that's going to slow down this supercell storm. You got the front back behind it. It's still out ahead of the front. Definitely won't have any problems with that. Looks like it just crossed Highway 5 on the latest scanner. Right over the intersection of 69 and Highway 5. Right now. Right over the intersection of those two highways. And it is approaching 65 next. Levy, need to be in your safe place. Avon, Woodland Hills, Hasty, Adelphi. All of those locations need to be in your safe place. Dangerous, destructive tornado is headed toward your location. Ivy as well. Prairie Belle, Prairie City. Dangerous, destructive tornado right over the intersection of Highway 69 and Highway 5. Headed off to the east-northeast. It's going to be hitting 65 next. Avon and Levy are going to be hit any minute. Large, destructive tornado that's on the ground right now. In progress right now. We are watching it live. There's where that circulation is located, near the intersection of Highway 5 and Highway 69. And we have a new tornado warning down south as well, south central Iowa. All of these are going tornado warned as well. Humiston along I-35, southern Iowa, Garden Grove, dangerous tornado warned storm. It's radar indicated now, likely to go tornadic any minute because the wind shear is ramping up to between 400, 0 to 1 kilometer shear. Just south of the border, right south of the Iowa-Missouri border, just southeast of Pleasanton. That's a dangerous storm. That one looks like it has largely unimpeded inflow. Massive inflow zone into that storm. Down near the Iowa-Missouri border, Adele and Watauga. Big-time inflow streaming in. Mesocyclones ramping up. 2 new tornado warnings down to the south as the wind shear continues to increase. Confirmed tornado heading into Avon, Iowa. South side of Des Moines. We are watching it here live. On radar. Avon and Levy, you're next. Got to be in your safe place. Dangerous tornadic supercell headed toward your location. Live here, breaking down radar. There's the circulation. Highway 5 and Highway 69. Moving off to the east-northeast. Avon and Levy, Hasty, Woodland Hills. You're next in line for this thing. Destructive tornado. Big hook-like appendage extending down. Highway 5, Highway 69, 65 here. Very large hook-like appendage. I had to skip this chase due to a family issue or else I would be out there. So, family comes first. And that's why I'm staying back home. Headed out to my sister's place tomorrow. But I need to break down the radar the best that I can. Try to deliver as much information as I can of this destructive tornado that's approaching the levee and the Avon area, Woodland Hills, Hasty, Ivy, Prairie Belle as well. And we do have those 2 new tornado warnings also down south near the Iowa-Missouri border as well. So there's your strong rotation that's heading into Avon. You want to be in your safe place at Avon. It's going to be just north of Highway 5, crossing Highway 65 next. Strong rotation heading toward your location. There it is. Strong tornado approaching Avon right now. There's the new scan. Approaching the Avon area. Avon, Levee, Woodland Hills. Dangerous tornado approaching Highway 65. Just heard from Vince saying he was in the wedge. And there it is, approaching Avon and Levee, Hasty, Woodland Hills, all of those locations. Very dangerous tornadic supercell heading toward the Avon area. Levee, Woodland Hills, Hasty. Dangerous, destructive, tornadic supercell, tornado on the ground. Levee at Avon is doing damage right now. Looking at the debris ball here. There's the debris ball heading into Avon. Dangerous tornadic situation here. Debris getting lofted high up into the storm, heading straight to the Avon area, Avon, Iowa. Southeast of Des Moines. Downtown Des Moines is up here, still included in the tornado warning, but the tornado is passing to the southeast of Des Moines, heading toward Levee, Avon, Hasty, Woodland Hills, eventually up toward Prairie Belle as well, further northeast. Portions of the I-80 corridor from Altoona through Mitchellville, almost to Newton, are now included in this tornado warning as well. I don't really see anything that's going to slow down this tornado as it's moving from west to east. Eventually Woodland Hills, Ivy, Prairie Belle, Colfax, all those locations, you got to be in your safe place. There it is. Tornado coming into Avon and Levee right now. Highway 65 corridor. Very destructive tornado. You can see even those enhanced pixels and reflectivity showing you where that tornado is located. Classic violent tornado signature. Big time potential vorticity streaming in from the north into this very intense area of rotation. Closing in on Levee, Avon area, Highway 65, Hasty as well. Waiting on the next scan as well, everybody. Waiting on that patiently. If you're just joining me, we are watching this live tornado heading into... It's probably impacting Avon right now, everybody. Very bad news. Large wedge tornado. Very large wedge heading into Avon, crossing that Highway 65 corridor right now. Watching it live as well. There's the circulation. Come back on over to the radar. There it is. Avon, Levee, likely getting some big time damage right now. Unfortunately, deadly tornado coming into Avon here. And it's past Avon. That's the debris circulation. Just to the east of Levee and Hasty. Large wedge tornado. Woodland Hills and Hasty. You're next in line for this one. Big time debris ball lifting off to the northeast. Ivy, Prairie Belle locations. Dangerous circulation. Large wedge tornado. Major hook on this thing. Very dangerous. I know there are pictures of the wedge everywhere. It's a destructive wedge that has probably even caused mass damage throughout its path. but I'm just trying to evaluate the next communities that are going to be impacted by this tornado. Hasty, Woodland Hills, need to be in your safe place. There's that dangerous tornado just to the southwest of Hasty and Woodland Hills. Very destructive tornado right there. Lofting debris high up. Woodland Hills, you're next in line. Eventually, Highway 163, near and to the east of Ivy. That's East University Drive. All of this is extremely populated areas, structures within all these different blocks out here around this area on the southeast side of Des Moines. Very populated area. There is your strong tornado headed southwest and northeast. Eventually, Woodland Hills is up next. And eventually that's going to be headed up toward the Ivy area, East Highway 163. Prairie Belle, you also want to be in your safe place. Colfax up near the Highway 80 corridor, Mitchellville, Colfax, west of Newton, all of those locations, west of Prairie City as well, east of Des Moines. Definitely a very dangerous setup as this storm system is lifting off to the northeast. Mitchellville and Colfax, right in the path of this destructive, large, massive wedge tornado moving off to the northeast. We've also got those tornado warnings to the south that are starting to spin up. 2 tornado warnings down to the south. Humiston, east of Garden Grove, also to the west of Linville. Clio on the Iowa side. This one's right over the Iowa Missouri border, due south of Des Moines. And there's a destructive tornado. It has now crossed the Highway 65 corridor. Next stop is Woodland Hills. And it's going to cause mass damage, likely Woodland Hills, maybe just to the south of the Hasty areas. Both of those communities, you absolutely need to be in your safe place. As well to the east of Ivy. You need to be in your safe place. Looks like it's going to cross Highway 163 between Prairie City and Ivy. So you want to be in your safe place up there. Destructive tornado to the southwest of Woodland Hills. There's the large debris signature that's approaching Woodland Hills area. There's the... Yeah, that's it. Probably debris that's raining down, downstream even now. You can see a couple of those debris signatures. You've even got debris fallout downstream within the forward flank of this thing. Debris getting lofted straight up, falling down within the forward flank. Downdraft. Approaching Highway 163 to the east of Ivy. Ejected off to the northeast already. Just to the northeast of Woodland Hills, south of Ivy now. Man, this is not good. Ivy, get in your safe place. This tornado is going to move right along that parallel path of that forward flank gust front. It's going to continue to move off to the northeast. You're next in line. Dangerous tornado-producing storm. There's the tornado just to the northeast of Woodland Hills now, moving up toward Ivy. Destructive tornado. Sign of things to come for 2022. But there is that debris signature just to the northeast of Woodland Hills, southwest of Ivy. Very large. That's the debris. The debris might be that wide. It doesn't necessarily mean the tornado is. Keep that in mind. I know it's easy to see that the debris signature is 4 miles wide. Doesn't necessarily mean the tornado is. The parent tornado that's causing that debris. You're scanning up aloft as it's fanning out. It is a wedge tornado, of course. And there it is. Waiting for that new scan. Yeah, you're getting debris falling out of the storm. Tornado approaching the Woodland Hills area. Highway 80 as well. Colfax, get in your safe place. You're next in line from this dangerous storm. Very dangerous storm. as our trough is obviously ejecting now. Multiple tornado warnings across south central Iowa, crossing the I-35 corridor. This one near Clio, Corydon, is the most dangerous storm, just to the north of that border. Also, the Humiston storm is also incredibly dangerous. A very tight velocity signature with those two storms. And it looks like that one's probably on the ground near Humiston. Debris signature being indicated. Observed tornado in Humiston. Confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado. Radar confirmed. For the southern storm as well. Far southern Iowa also has a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado. Not surprising, the southernmost one just to the north of the Missouri border is not radar confirmed, but this one is. That's the debris signature just to the southwest of Humiston. Coming into Humiston likely. Oh, there it is. Not good. Big debris signature down in Humiston right now. South central Iowa, right along Highway 65. Not good. Another tornado. Destructive tornado off to the south. This is what happens when tornadoes move into wind shear of 300 or 400, 0 to 1 kilometer storm relative helicity. It's just physics. You're going to get tornadoes. You're going to get probably violent tornadoes. Big problems. Humiston just looks like it just took a direct hit from a tornado. Big problems down in Humiston as well. And there's your tornadic circulation now. That's just south of Ivy. Damaging, destructive tornado just to the south of Ivy, moving off to the northeast, going to cross Highway 163 soon. Prairie Belle, you're next in line from this destructive tornado. Colfax, got to get in your safe place as well. It's going to pass very near Ivy, hopefully just to the east of Ivy, but some communities just to the east of Ivy are likely going to get hit as well. And then lifting off to the east-northeast, Colfax near Prairie Belle as well. Goddard are probably going to get hit by this tornado, passing just to the west of the Newton area there. But there is that destructive tornado right now. We got two destructive tornadoes. One down in Humiston, down in the far south central portion of the state. Debris signature lit up right as that tornado was coming through town. That's never a good sign. Definitely a direct hit in Humiston down in the southern end of Iowa as well. That's Highway 65 as well. So this is what's happening as these storms are moving into very strong wind shear right now. They're going completely nuts. This southern storm is going to go nuts next. Headed toward Corydon, Allerton, Clio areas. Destructive tornado, though, between Derby and Humiston. Moving off to the northeast. There's that circulation. Very close to the Humiston area. In fact, Humiston took a direct hit. Now that tornado's just to the northeast. Sheridan, Williamson, Russell, Derby, you're included in that warning as well down into southern Iowa. But of course, we still have our long track destructive tornado that is approaching the Ivy area. That tornado just to the south of Ivy, not too many miles south of Ivy, could cross just to the east of Ivy and continue off to the northeast. Colfax, Prairie Belle, Highway 80 corridor off to the northeast of it. There's that destructive tornado. We can go back to the debris coefficient on this. And need a new scan, but that is the tornado just to the south of Ivy. That's going to continue moving off to the northeast. It's going to cross Highway 163. Very close to Ivy. Probably is doing that right now, actually, in between these different scans. And then eventually it's going to be heading off toward Prairie Belle as well, and eventually Colfax. But there you can see that strong rotation heading east-northeast. Prairie Belle, continuing northeast. Metz as well. Newton, you're going to be included in this warning next. You're not yet, but you might as well get ready to get in your safe place down into Newton as well. Destructive tornadic supercell moving off to the northeast. Dangerous tornadic storm there. Look at that hook surge around. West of Prairie Belle, south of Mitchellville. That's where your tornado's located. Big bulbous debris ball surging out with that RFD. Tornado's back behind that bulb a little bit. Oh, probably not. It's probably updated. Might be wrapped in rain now as it's crossing 163. I like to use the raw radar data. I don't use the smoothing at all. I just like to use the raw radar data. Smoothing is for amateurs in general. I mean, I like to use the raw pixel by pixel type of an analysis of this radar data. But just to the north of Highway 163 is where that tornado is located now, waiting on the new scan. It's looking like the debris is just northeast of Ivy now. Oh, it's right on Highway 163. That is the massive debris ball. It's not fallout or anything. Still a large destructive tornado crossing Highway 163 just east of Ivy. So it went from just south of Ivy to 163 just east, crossing Highway 163 just west of Prairie Belle. It's still just south of 80, but it is getting awfully close to Highway 80 now as well. Colfax area, watch out. Dangerous tornadic supercell. The RFD's wrapping around the south side. Inflow wrapping around, flowing into that tornado. Dangerous tornadic supercell. And it's still light out there. So, very large debris ball now east of Ivy, Highway 163, crossing the highway west-southwest of Prairie Belle. There is your debris. And that's going to continue moving off to the east-northeast. Here is Highway 80 up near Colfax. You're next in line. There's that circulation to the west of Prairie Belle. Let's take a look at the southern one now as well. Humiston definitely has damage. That a tornado spun up, hit Humiston. Debris was lofted and still getting debris fallout. Sheridan is next in line. Highway 14, intersection of Highway 14, Highway 34, next in line for that one. And also, I think that this storm is going to produce down near Clio as well, and Corydon, if it hasn't already. It's going to go next. Look at that massive storm relative inflow zone right over Clio, ripping into that mesocyclone. Dangerous situation there. But this is that destructive tornado south of Mitchellville, south of Highway 80. Crossing Highway 163 right now to the west of Prairie Belle, and is going to continue moving off to the northeast, eventually toward Colfax, Goddard, Highway 80, Metz, Colfax area. You're going to get hit by that tornado next, it appears. And there it is now, passing just to the west of Prairie Belle. Colfax, you're next in line. Colfax, Iowa. Get in your safe place. Right along Highway 80, the intersection of 117 and Interstate 80. Dangerous tornadic supercell headed toward your location. We are live here. Time 5:34 Central Standard Time. Very strong tornado headed off to the northeast toward the Colfax area. Highway 80, 117 intersection. There it is. Destructive tornado, large wedge, continues to move northeast. And it's going to impact Highway 17 and the I-80 intersection near Colfax, possibly impacting Colfax itself. Large destructive tornado, it appears. Northwest of Prairie Belle, just northwest of Prairie Belle, but very close. Headed up eventually toward the Colfax area. I'm doing live radar breakdowns right now. Colfax, get into your safe place. Dangerous tornadic supercell headed toward Colfax at the I-80 corridor. There it is. Large tornado, so large. All kinds of radar artifacts that are happening near the surface of that storm. And there's your debris ball. It is going to be passing just to the northwest of the Prairie Belle area. And it looks like it's a wobbler, starting to wobble a little bit more north, but it is heading right toward the Colfax area. Dangerous, destructive, tornadic supercell. Dangerous tornado headed toward Colfax. Intersection Highway 117 and I-80. There it comes, southwest to northeast. That's going to be headed into Colfax next. Very dangerous tornado outbreak underway right now. The new circulation still has that tornado just to the northwest of Prairie Belle. Dangerous tornadic supercell violent, destructive situation lifting up toward Colfax. Colfax, Iowa. Gotta get in your safe place. Dangerous, dangerous day here around Colfax heading in. Gotta get into your safe place. Yeah, it does need to dissipate, but I don't see anything that is going to cause this storm to dissipate as the wind shear continues to ramp up upstream. Also don't see anything off to the south that's going to cause these tornado producers to dissipate. Chariton, you got to get in your safe place. Dangerous tornadic supercell that's approaching from the southwest. Highway 14, Highway 34 intersection. That's Chariton. There's the circulation that continues to ramp up to the southwest of Ellerton. South of Corydon, you're included in that tornado warning. 2 tornado warnings down in south central Iowa. And this is the one that we've been following. The RAP has done a pretty incredible job at predicting this evolution of this storm system. But it is heading up toward I-80. Dangerous. Supercell, tornadic supercell, destructive supercell storm here, headed right toward Colfax. I-80, Highway 117 as well. There's where your tornado is located, southeast of Mitchellville. Which I would have gone out. If I would have gone out here, I could have definitely deployed the gravity wave sensors on this. But do have a family emergency situation here in South Carolina that I'm tending to. But have to go live and do these radar breakdowns with a life-threatening situation to the east of Des Moines playing out. Southeast of Mitchellville, coming into Colfax as well. That's where your circulation is located. So Colfax, get your safe place. This next radar scan is probably going to have that debris ball very close to the Colfax area. Still, obviously, it's observed. 521, a confirmed large, extremely dangerous tornado located over Pleasant Hill. Moving northeast at 45. Of course, weather spotters confirmed. Weather spotters are all over this thing. Obviously turning right. Dangerous supercell storm to the east of Des Moines. Heading up toward the Newton area. Colfax, breaking down the radar live here. There's your tornado coming into Colfax. That's the new radar scan. There's the debris ball. It's coming into Colfax. I don't see anything that's going to stop this tornado between here and Colfax right now. Highway 117 and I-80. I just don't see anything stopping this circulation from coming into Colfax. So get in your safe place. Colfax, Goddard, Iowa. Newton, might as well get ready to get in your safe place. I do think that that circulation should pass just to your north and west, but still could very easily hit your location as well. Looks like it's trying to wrap up on itself. Becoming a more compact type of a storm. You can see the RFD gusting way out here as well. Here's the RFD. You got inflow coming up around the north side of the RFD, but the whole thing is just planting. Massive tornado here coming into the Colfax area. Might be trying to get a little bit rain wrap. Probably not, though. Just southwest of Colfax. Dangerous tornado coming into town. Colfax, you want to be in your safe place. Dangerous tornadic supercell is coming into town right now. There it is. There's the debris ball coming into Colfax. Dangerous tornado coming up to Colfax. I-80 corridor. It's approaching the I-80 corridor right now. Goddard, Colfax area, right along the I-80 corridor, intersection of Highway 117 and I-80. Colfax, looks like you're going to get hit potentially next. I don't really see anything that's going to stop this thing. There's the circulation. Massive RFD whipping around the south side. You've got your inflow coming in around the northeast side through Colfax, northeast of Prairie Belle. Destructive tornado in progress right now. Headed up toward Colfax, near the I-80 corridor at Highway 117. Dangerous tornado. We've been tracking this thing since Winterset. Really, a touchdown just to the southwest of Winterset. There were a couple bird fart tornadoes to the south of that, and it's been a wedge ever since Winterset. the whole way, all the way up through Prairie Belle, all the way to Colfax, I-80 and Highway 117. Very compact supercell storm. It's about to cross I-80 near the Colfax area. Confirmed large and destructive tornado. Internet's coming in and out a little bit. There we go. There it is. Large destructive tornado coming into Colfax. I-80 right here, right at the intersection of 117 and Colfax. Here's Newton. That tornado warning hasn't been expanded east to Newton just yet. Waiting for some of these new scans to come in. There it is, just to the southwest of Colfax. Large destructive wedge coming into town. Still don't see anything slowing this down. Hoping that it'll weaken somehow before reaching Colfax. There's the new tornado warning that now includes the Newton area. Waiting for that one to come in. Still observed, of course. 5:35 p.m. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado located near Mitchellville, 8 miles east of Altoona, moving northeast at 45. Basically crossing Highway 80 right now. Very close to Highway 80 in the Colfax area right now. Time right now is 5:43 Central Standard Time. Tornado lifting off to the northeast. Going to pass very close to Colfax, Goddard, very near I-80. There's that debris. Debris circulation coming into Colfax right now. That's the debris. Highway 117, I-80 intersection. Debris coming into Colfax, I-80, Goddard. Newton, you're included in the tornado warning. Let's go back down to southern Iowa. Look at some of those storms. Still observed. There's your debris fallout from that storm as well. It's further away from the radar. 5:37, dangerous tornado is approaching Highway 14 to the south of Chariton. South of the intersection of Highway 34 and 14. Dangerous, destructive tornado heading toward approaching Highway 14 just south of Chariton. And of course, this one's ramping up fast down near Ellerton as well. Rapid ramping up of this circulation on the south side. Corydon, Promise City, Confidence. Get in your safe place. A handful of these dangerous tornadic supercells across south central Iowa as well. Heading toward Chariton, Russell area, south of Corydon, Allerton as well. Definitely these two anchors on the bottom that have huge tornado potential. In fact, this one that's coming into Chariton already has a tornado on the ground. This one coming to Corydon also likely has a tornado on the ground. If it doesn't right now, it's about to have one. Looks like we got another old radar. Come on, Radar Omega. We got to update these as fast as we can. Severe warning off to the north. Still tornado on the ground. Major wedge happening. Very dangerous situation just to the south of Des Moines. And there it is, approaching I-80 just to the east of Colfax, near Goddard, west of Metz. It's crossing I-80 right now, just to the east of Colfax. Not very far east of Colfax either. That's where that tornado is located. Crossing I-80 right now as we're typing this. There's the tornado right there. Maybe starting to see a hint at a possible cycle. See how this little inflow area is starting to get a little bit cut off here? It's possible that this tornado is going to start to occlude, and then the new circulation will form further off to the east. A little to the east of Colfax, west of Metz. Definitely is trying to cycle. Quick handoff that's happening as well. I did hear that Vince got very close to the wedge tornado, if not inside. Hoping he's okay. Probably has some pretty crazy video, but I'm glad that he's okay because he just sent me a text message. But I'm worried about the people that were in the path of this storm, like Winterset. Right now, that are in the path of this storm along I-80 to the east of Colfax, to the west of Newton. This thing is turning right a little bit too, so Newton, get in your safe place right now. Dangerous, destructive tornado just to the east of Colfax now. Appears to have gone through Colfax or a little bit to the south, and now is approaching Interstate 80 near the Goddard area. New inflow starting to ramp up. The radar's off to the west here, so that green is wind that's toward the radar as the new inflow is starting to increase for this new circulation. Looks like it very easily could be trying to undergo a handoff for this circulation. Still a tornado in progress, still a destructive tornado in progress just to the east of Colfax. And then the new circulation, the new tornado is starting to ramp up as well. .535, confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Mitchellville, or 8 miles east of Altoona, moving it northeast at 45 miles an hour. Still happening, crossing I-80 right now. Dangerous storm. Crossing I-80. There it is, near Colfax. We've also got 2 tornado producers in far southern Iowa as well. There are the echo tops of this tornadic storm that continues to go. Tornadic supercell off to the south, 2 echo tops, Chariton, down near Corydon as well. This one's going to be the next one that's going to go nuts. It's coming into town right now. That's an old radar. God, what a joke. Get that radar to update. Seems to be having some issues with the app. There we go. No. Echo tops are not uploading. Always got to look at your times when you're using radar apps. Make sure that their uploads are good. This one's uploaded 5:47. There you can see that circulation to the west of Newton. Just crossed I-80 to the west of Newton as well. Old radar. Come on. Probably some obscure setting. I need to click, and there it is. There is the new radar update. So it does look like it's trying to cycle. We still have a tornado in progress that crossed I-80 to the northwest of Metz, halfway between Goddard and Metz. And now we've got a new circulation that's ramping up here off to the east, to the north of Metz. A large area of storm relative inflow that is formed. Large area of inflow. So their new circulation should try to form right about here. So right now we're breaking down this tornado that has just crossed I-80. No, I'm not using smoothed out radar. So there you can see the circulation. New circulation trying to form off to the east as well. That would be your new circulation just to the west of Newton. Newton, you want to get in your safe place. We've got a cycling tornadic supercell. New tornado trying to ramp up as well. I'm hoping this thing is finally starting to outrun the instability a little bit. But the wind shear is so immense that it's able to dynamically pipe through that shallow stable layer. You've got some more storms that are developing back toward Des Moines as well. Strong storms. These don't have tornado potential. They're along the Arctic boundary that's starting to move. These do have tornado potential, though. These are dangerous storms. If this storm loses tornado potential, then we got to start shifting gears toward these southern ones. These are going to... I already have a tornado on the ground. This one's observed. That was a 5:33. Actually, that was 17 minutes ago. 8 miles southwest of Chariton. PDS, particularly dangerous situation for Chariton. Tornado looks like it passed just to the southeast of Chariton, I'm hoping. It's on Highway 34, just to the east of Chariton right now. And you got this circulation as well, between Corydon and Bridgeport, crossing Highway 2 to the east of Corydon. Dangerous supercell out there. What happened? Someone hurt on the chat? Someone's in damage? What happened here? Blocky, you're only 16, and where are you located? Did you get hit by that tornado? Homes swept off foundations in Winterset. Unconfirmed report. Just coming in on the chat right now. I believe it, though. A strong, destructive tornado. Certainly. Yeah, call an ambulance. You'll be all right. Hopefully the damage isn't too bad out there. But it is bad. I know it's bad. Because these are very strong tornadoes. 3 to 400, 0 to 1 kilometer shear. Just northeast of Chariton. North of Highway 34. South of Highway 14. Oh, and Humiston. Definitely had a direct hit by a tornado. We saw the debris signature as that circulation was coming into Humiston. 2 active tornado warnings now in far south central Iowa as well. And we still have the one coming into Newton. Looks like that circulation, well, it still is a tornado. To the west of Newton, incomplete cycle. The main tornado continues. Big RFD whipping along the south side. It's on the western side of Newton right now, just west of Lambs Grove, north of Farm Road 48. But it looks like it's going to pass just north of Newton. We'll cross Highway 14. If it was in Humiston, then that is not good. Then need to get rescue personnel on there. Post the address here. Yeah, the tornado should be just to the west of Newton now. Right now it's getting pretty close to sunset out here. So, yeah, that tornado would be just to the west-northwest of Newton. Hang tight, Blocky, in Humiston, till rescue personnel will arrive. Call 911. He now says the ambulance is here. Yeah, that hail that you're experiencing on the east side of Des Moines right now with this elevated convection back behind the tornado producer. So you're starting to get some hail. Not surprising that you're getting hail. Probably needs a severe thunderstorm warning back there as well. It's right latched onto the surface low, coupled with that surface low. 5:54 p.m. Central Standard Time. Dangerous tornado. It's going to cross Highway 14 near or just to the north of Newton. Newton, you still want to be in your safe place. That's the new radar scan. It's possibly just on the north side of Newton, crossing Highway 14 right now. Waiting on that new radar scan. Yeah, tons of damage out here. This tornado is going to cross just to the north of Newton on Highway 14. Probably crossing right now. Trying to get a new radar scan here as well. Yeah, it does look like it's just on the northwest side of Newton. There it is. There's your tornado. Just very near Lambs Grove. You're probably getting ripped by westerlies right now on the south side of that tornado. Just to the north of Lambs Grove is where that tornado is located. You can see the whole circulation wrapping all the way around. That is the tornado. It's going to cross just to the north of Newton. That's an old radar image. There's the new one. 5:54. So that's it. That's your debris near Lambs Grove. So it's definitely lofting debris right now, just to the north of Lambs Grove. It's eventually going to be crossing Highway 14 there as well. Let's look at some of these southern Iowa ones. Pass it just to the north of downtown Newton. This one's obviously going to continue, and there they are, the two new tornado warnings for these two storms in southern Iowa. It includes Marysville, Lovelia, Moravia as well are included in those tornado warnings. Two dangerous tornado warned storms headed to your location in Marysville. Strong rotation. North of Russell, north of Highway 34 as well. That's where that strong rotation is located. This one's still ramping up to the northwest of Promise City. Radar indicated. Wonder if the northern one is radar indicated. That's observed still. Confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado as of 6 minutes ago. Let's look at the debris signature. Yeah, big time tornado down there. Debris fallout. You're far away from the radar, so you're seeing kind of the high up part of the tornado. So you have a tornado relatively narrow at the ground, and then the debris fans out as it goes up through the mesocyclone. So you're scanning relatively high up in the storm using the Des Moines radar site here, but it's showing a very destructive tornado. Looks like that southern one might also have a tornado on the ground as well, kind of in a radar hole, but looks like debris getting lofted high up into the troposphere by both of these storms down into southern Iowa. Major tornado outbreak underway. Definitely a sign of things to come as well during the 2022 season. But there it is. Two tornadic supercells with tornadoes in progress in southern Iowa. Moravia getting your safe place. Iconium getting your safe place. Down near Retabon Lake. Moravia, Maine, Walnut City getting your safe place. Confidence, Bethlehem areas. Dangerous. Two tornadic supercells that are moving off to the northeast. Oskaloosa upstream. Oskaloosa, you are in the path of one of these supercells, the northernmost one. That is a very dangerous storm, so definitely keep an eye, keep those weather radios tuned in. Two very dangerous storms that are moving off to the northeast. Oh, geez. The next scan looks like it's reinvigorated again to the east of Highway 14, northeast of Newton. Cycle. It's cycling. New cycle now to the northeast of Newton. Likely the old tornado back here crossed Highway 14 and then had a quick cycle. So we now have a new one that's touching down east of Highway 14, north of I-80, northwest of Kellogg. That's where that new tornadic circulation is located. And there's already a hint at debris with that new one. So it looks like it was a quick cycle, very quick cycle that happened. New circulation already. Hopefully this thing is starting to run out of its instability a little bit. But, man, showing you the power of kinematics certainly here. Back near Confidence. Looks like this southern one might merge with another storm off to the south. Maybe that'll help slow down the tornado potential of that storm a little bit. I doubt it, though. In fact, usually when they merge like that, it'll make it even worse. Storm just kind of gains mass. Yeah, so both of these storms off to the south, still ramping up. Circulation approaching Marysville, just too far away from the radar to know if they for sure have tornadoes. So I would just assume that those two southern ones have tornadoes on the ground, especially moving into an environment of 300 to 400, 0 to 1 kilometer shear. But northeast of Newton, that's where that dangerous tornado warning storm is located. Looks like we had a quick cycle where we had this one die off a little bit, and then a new circulation just ramped up off to the northeast, just in the northeast of Newton. But that's where that circulation is starting to ramp up again, northwest of Kellogg. South of it's going to pass halfway between Laurel and Kellogg as well. Gilman. It's going to eventually pass to the north of Grinnell as well. Well, it looks like we had a quick cycle on that storm to the northeast of Newton. And we're just watching these two southern storms as well. Let's look at the echo tops. That'll provide a lot of information on how strongly they're rotating and how strongly they're penetrating high up into the atmosphere. Still very decent echo top, still up to 40,000 feet. I'm hoping that we're starting to transition toward more of a QLCS type of an event. Really hoping that's the case. But right now we've still got active tornado warned supercells. Even some of these back behind on the east side of Des Moines, they did go severe. They're starting to look more like elevated supercells back near Altoona. But the tornado potential is low with those, but they will be dropping quite a bit of hail as well. This is a lead tornado producer. Went through a quick cycle. Looks like it's got a new one already on the ground. It is after dark out here now. And there's the new circulation. That's the new cycle. New tornado trying to touch down right about there. Old one got left behind. That's probably the old one now in the RFD of the new circulation. Yeah, that's the new circulation starting to ramp up. As to the northwest of Kellogg. Highway 14. Here's Highway 6. It's well north of Highway 6 as well. Could eventually start to approach the Newburgh and Gilman areas. Highway 146. But there's the new circulation on this storm. Produced a very long track wedge tornado. Right now this event is getting driven mainly by wind shear right now. A lot of wind shear. There is decent instability as well. Dry pocket of air coming in just above the ground. Locations that need to be in your safe place. Gilman, even though that tornado warning doesn't quite include your location, it's time to get in your safe place. Anywhere between Laurel and Kellogg, including Laurel and Kellogg. Looks like that tornado is going to pass halfway between Laurel and Kellogg as well. And this storm cycled. You can see what looks to be an old cycle embedded within the RFD. And it looks like the new circulation starting to ramp up now. And this is going to be passing to the north of Kellogg, eventually impacting the Newburgh area, Gilman as well, Highway 146 off to the northeast. Starting to get some precipitation off to the east as well, lifting up toward Grinnell. Gilman, but this is the supercell that produced a long track violent wedge tornado. Winterest, very severe damage under Winterest, almost total destruction. You got Willard back there that's working the damage, it appears. You got new storms that are developing near the Des Moines area that are elevated, that don't have as much tornado potential. And then you've got our tornado producer with a new warning that just got issued that includes all the way out to Chelsea, Vining, Alberin, south of Toledo as well. And Grinnell, you are included in that tornado warning. It looks like we had a quick cycle and then a new tornado touched down rapidly. There it is, moving into the new tornado warning. Grinnell, you are included in the tornado warning, but I do think it's going to cross 146 just to the north of you. Yeah, it's ramping up again. That tornado has actually retained itself, the one back behind it. Another incomplete cycle, and that original tornado still in progress back here. Sometimes they'll do this. Remember the Pilger tornado where you had what appeared to be something that was trying to rope out, and then it had an incomplete cycle, and then the rope would re-expand and become a larger tornado once again. I saw it happen on June 24th, 2003. The Manchester, South Dakota tornado, June 24, 2003 as well. But it looks like it was trying to cycle with a new one. And then this one is kind of re-intensifying and hanging on once again. So let's take a look at the debris coefficient so that we could track the debris getting lofted by this storm. Not seeing much in the way of debris right now, at least from the Des Moines radar. But according to the warning statement, it is confirmed. Observed on the ground, 6:02 p.m. Central Standard Time. Confirmed tornado located near Newton, moving northeast at 45. Weather spotters confirmed. Can't get any more dependable than that. But boy, it looks like that rain is wrapping all the way around that circulation. We now have a bounded weak echo region. Little donut hole right in the middle. Rain wrapping all the way around that deal. That new circulation now. It's going to pass to the north of Kellogg on Highway 14. Back south. Oh, it's a nasty storm. South of Melrose, east of Confidence right there. Even though it's trying to go through this cell merger, this was an original tornado producer as well. Near Humiston. Hopefully the inflow is getting a little impeded by the one to the south. They're further away from the Des Moines radar, so really we're just scanning up top with the mesocyclones. Probably a tornado somewhere within this mesocyclone to the east of Confidence. Moravia, you want to be in your safe place. Lovilla, you want to be in your safe place. Hamilton as well. There's the strong rotation. It's heading up toward Hamilton, Lovilla, Busey areas. Moravia. A handful of supercells in South Iowa that are still cranking. Marysville, get in your safe place. Bussy. South of Melrose, get in your safe place. West of Moravia, 2 supercells far south central Iowa that are moving toward town. West of Moravia, southwest of Albia.
Do you have any jumper cables?
Yeah, in the back of my car I do. But I do in the back of my car.
Because Kelby's stranded at Farmart.
Okay. I could, once this tornado outbreak's done, I could definitely head over there. Or he could just go into Walmart and get a pair.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll head down there once, but there's still tornadoes on the ground that are doing damage and life-threatening right now, so I gotta stay live. Sorry. Just north of Kellogg, halfway between Kellogg and Laurel, damaging tornado. There it is. There's the occlusion happening, about to go through a cycle. That's the tornado starting to rope out. New circulation happening off to the northeast, approaching Highway 14, bends back this way. 224. That tornado's approaching. Need a new radar scan, though. Oh, yeah. That southern one reinvigorated on that new scan. It's now passing just to the north of Kellogg. Incomplete cycle. Incomplete cycle. There it is, just to the north of Kellogg. Highway 224. Dangerous tornado incomplete cycle that just happened. That circulation is going to pass just to the north of Kellogg. There it is, new debris ball, new debris just to the north of Kellogg. That's approaching Highway 224. State Highway 224 is probably crossing that highway right now to the north of Kellogg. So incomplete cycle, and I believe this is still the original tornado. Went just to the north of Newton, crossed I-80 just to the west of Newton, halfway between Colfax and Newton, and continues to move off to the northeast. I think it's going to pass halfway between Gilman and Grinnell. But there is that tornado. And it is going to be approaching Highway 224 just to the north of Kellogg. Damaging tornado right now, passing just to the north of Kellogg. This thing that is still coupled with the surface low continues to lift off to the northeast. Newburgh, you're next in line. Sheridan, Gilman, Highway 63, Chelsea as well. Elberin, Belle Plaine, Vining, Hartwick, all included in that tornado warning. Yep, there is the circulation. Just now approaching Highway 224. Still going. Massive donut hole on it. Incomplete cycle, and you got just one dominant pipe underneath this storm. Very strong tornado. Gilman, take shelter. It's going to pass halfway between Gilman and Grinnell. Halfway between those two locations. Tornado continues. Headed toward Newburgh. Newburgh, get in your safe place. Jesus. Get in your safe place. Newburgh to the south of Gilman. It's probably going to pass very close to the Gilman or Newburgh areas. Dangerous tornado headed toward your location. Get underground. Donut hole. Dangerous destructive tornado. Large tornado headed toward Newburgh and Gilman. That's the eye of the tornado right there. Bounded weak echo region, really not the eye of it, but eye of the low-level mesocyclone. That's an old radar data, radar image. Yep. East of Highway 224 now, just south of Highway F17E. Headed toward Newburgh. Newburgh, getting your safe place. Confirmed dangerous, large, extremely dangerous tornado. Headed toward Newburgh. Textbook tornadic supercell. Northerlies curving back into that circulation. Inflow coming right around the front. RFD bulging out. Bounded weak echo region. Absolutely textbook tornadic supercell right now. Headed toward Gilman, Newburgh areas. Just a nasty supercell. Continues. Let's take a look at the southern ones as well. But Gilman. Oh, man. Newburgh, get in your safe place. Stay in your safe place for now. And we've got these tornadic supercells in far south central Iowa as well. This one just to the southwest of Albia. This one southwest of Busey. Heading into Marysville. Getting your safe place, Marysville. All that inflow coming around. There's your mesocyclone coming into Marysville just west of Hamilton, southwest of Busey. Getting your safe place. Oskaloosa, it's headed your way. Big couplet. Down further south, the southwest of Albia storm, west of Moravia, west of Highway 5. That is a nasty couplet. Probably has a tornado. We're pretty far from the radar right now. So I do believe that that is a tornado halfway between Iconium and Tyrone. Even an evidence of debris fall as well. Also evidence of debris, even though we're far away from the radar, that's approaching the Marysville area along Highway 5. Busey, Bolton, Oskaloosa, Evans, Layton, get in your safe place. Dangerous tornado. There's your debris ball. Was hoping it would cycle on approach to Newton. That did not happen. If anything, it got stronger. That's heading into Newburgh. Big problems right now. And it looks like that debris is fanning out now on approach to Newburgh. Getting even larger. Newburgh, get into your safe place. Gilman, safe place. Sheridan, get into your safe place. Haven, Chelsea, get into your safe place as well. It's trying to cycle again. I still think that's an old radar. I'm getting tricked by the radar here, but I'm too smart for that. There's the ejection off to the northeast. Tornado stills going on right there. New radar, 614. It's trying to cycle. Your tornado still coming into Newburgh. That's the tornado right there. This is the new circulation that could be developing here. It's been trying to cycle like this the whole time. But this is a very long track one. That's it. It's coming into Newburgh right there. That's your tornado. Keeps trying to cycle. Keeps doing these incomplete cycles. But there's the debris coming into Newburgh right now. It's happening right now. Haven't had a chance to scroll through any Twitter or anything to see scenes of damage. I just know that it's immense. Anywhere along the path of this tornado, I know that it produced substantial damage. Very long track tornado all the way back. Tornado would be coming into Newburgh right now. Newburgh, get in your safe place. Observed, obviously. Confirmed tornado as of 6:02. That was as of 14 minutes ago. Weather spotters confirmed. But still has debris that has been lofted. Whether or not that debris was lofted and is now falling out of the storm, or if it's still getting lofted, I think it is, based on velocity coincident with the debris coefficient, correlation coefficient. That's where that is located. Coming into Newburgh right there. There's your tornado. This is the storm, the surface low storm, coupled with that surface low. It's going to pass halfway between Gilman and Grinnell, moving off to the northeast. Eventually Highway 63, Chelsea and Vining as well downstream. Alberon. Let's take a look at the debris coefficient as well. Gotta pee, but I'm just not going to do it. Might just go in my pants here as I'm doing radar updates. Basically wearing my running shorts anyway. Might as well just pee in them. But yes, Newburgh, tornado heading into your community right now. It is confirmed by radar. I'm hoping that the tornado might have lifted and we're just getting debris raining down, but it looks like this tornado is still in progress. Dangerous debris ball heading into Newburgh right now. Here's Highway 146, Gilman, Newburgh areas. It's going to pass halfway between Gilman and Grinnell. Observed tornado continues to move off to the northeast. Chelsea, Vining, Bella Plain. Got to be in your safe place as well. Chelsea, Highway 146, north of Grinnell. And it looks like that tornado is still in progress. And hopefully it's going to pass just to the south of Gilman, but it's starting to do a left-hand turn, getting a little bit closer to Gilman now. I think that as this tornado is maturing, it's starting to do that bit of a left-hand turn toward Highway 146 in the Gilman area. That's the debris coefficient. That's where that debris ball is located, curling off to the left toward Gilman, Highway 146 as well. Dangerous tornado, definitely on the ground again, debris coefficient. Thank you everybody for joining me for this continued weather coverage. Just trying to stay on top of this stuff. Still the debris ball passing just to the south of Gilman. There it is. Still tornado in progress. Let's take a look at some of these storms in south central Iowa as well. And they're a little bit further away from the radar, but I think I saw some evidence of maybe some debris on this storm that's going to be passing south of Albia. Strong rotation as well, coming into Busey. Just crossed Highway 5. Still heading in the direction of Oskaloosa as well. Debris confirmed. Tornado crossing to the south of Gilman. This storm continues to crank. Continues to dominate to the south of Gilman. I think it's going to continue going for a little while longer. I'm hoping this thing's about to outrun the instability. We're even starting to get some of this precipitation and anvil blow off from some of those storms further south that are starting to come in. There's that rotation. Looks like the tornado is going to pass just to the north of the Newburgh area. Only a couple miles to the north, though. So that's where that strong rotation is moving. It's going to pass just to the north of Newburgh, just to the south of Gilman as well. Here's Highway 146. And really quick, I'm going to go take a pee, and then I'm going to fire up this live stream once again. But get in your shelters, Newburgh to Gilman. Be right back. as you can see, take my work seriously. Some serious sweating happening. That's what happens when I get fired up. My adrenal receptors go nuts. And then it's go time for a long time until I can't. This thing is still on the ground north of Newburgh, south of Gilman. There you can see that debris ball. Still confirmed, obviously. Confirmed tornado. The last update by weather spotters was as of 6:02, 20 minutes ago. Yeah, definitely a lot of damage out there, everybody. Yeah, not surprised that there's injuries south of town in Cheriton. Very strong rotation, went just south of town. And it looks like that rotation started to weaken now, past just south of Gilman, near Newburgh as well. Does look like we lost the debris signature on this so far, which is some good news. The circulation's starting to look a little bit less organized. Southeast of Gilman near Highway 146. Still observed, according to the new tag. As of 6:25, confirmed tornado located 8 miles north of Grinnell. Weather spotters confirmed. So this thing still has a frickin' tornado on the ground. North of Grinnell on Highway 146. I'm going to go live on Facebook again here too. Live confirmed tornado passing just north of Grinnell. Go with code green. Good evening, everybody. This is a live update as we have a confirmed tornado that is crossing Highway 146 just to the north of Grinnell. The debris indicator was there just to the south of the Gilman area. Believed to cross just to the north of Newburgh, south of Gilman, and is now crossing Highway 146 just to the southeast of Grinnell. There's the debris right at the elbow there of Highway 146. Confirmed tornado. Next in line, Highway 63 to the south of the Toledo area. That's going to be next in line, but definitely well-defined debris coefficient there, just southeast of Gilman. Northeast of Newburgh as well. County Road 147. County Road 69 East. That's where that tornado is located right now. 625, latest radar scan. Thankfully, it does look like maybe these storms are starting to hopefully outrun the instability a little bit, but the tornado threat is continuing. Let's look at these storms down a little bit further south, see what they're doing. There's that dangerous circulation headed up toward Dudley, west of Chillicothe, southwest of Kirkville. Definitely circulation starting to ramp up just south of Highway 34. Really along Highway 34 to the east of Albia is where that strong rotation is located. Dangerous storm right there. A little bit more diffuse with the circulation that's approaching Oskaloosa, but still we're in a bit of a radar hole. Pretty far away from Des Moines. And we're watching this storm that still has the confirmed tornado east of Gilman, north of Grinnell. There's where that circulation is located. Yeah, not surprised at all that there are slabs out there. Wouldn't be surprised if this was a violent tornado. Just east of Gilman. Dangerous circulation just to the east of Gilman, southwest of Tama, west of Highway 63. Looks like it's also trying to cycle. May have a new circulation developing just to the east as well. But that is the circulation. Waiting on a new radar scan. Hey guys, don't send me any updates through my text message. Everybody, I get like hundreds of text messages from all the storm chasers, people that didn't chase, that might be out there chasing, telling me what happened. So just don't text me right now because I'm doing a live update on the radar breakdown and my phone's starting to get a little bit bogged down. I'll see what you guys have said or didn't see. I see what everybody has seen. So I'm trying to break down radar as this tornado is happening right now. So you could maybe talk amongst yourselves about what happened today first for a little bit. From a storm chaser perspective, if you do have damage reports, of course, I'd like to know those. Or really any useful report at all that I can relay to people on here. But here you can see the supercell starting to look a little bit less favorable as well, less tornadic, but still has that tornado on the ground approaching the Tama area just to the south of Toledo. And then there is the tornado warned one down to the south, down near Highway 34 between Ottumwa and Albia as well. A couple of tornado producers down south additionally. But there you can see that tornadic storm to the west of Ottumwa, southwest of Chillicothe, just crossed Highway 34. There is the circulation. It is to the east of Albia, south of Avery, moving off to the northeast, Dudley area, Highway 63. And it looks like the one that's crossing just to the south of Toledo maybe isn't quite as organized as it was earlier. But still waiting for a new radar scan. But it's still there. Look at that. Still, that tornado is still sitting in there. That's where that circulation would be. Approaching Highway 63, southwest of Tama, southwest of Toledo. Still a bit of a bounded weak echo region there. So definitely watching those two off to the south. Now the one off to the south, southwest of Chillicothe, is the only tornado warned one. Well, we also have the one off to the north, of course, but down south we had two tornado warned ones. Now just along on the south side, we've got that lone tornado warned storm. East of Albia, southwest of Chillicothe, south of Oskaloosa, west of Ottumwa, Highway 34. There's that storm right now. Everything's moving northeast today. The individual storms and the tornadoes. This was a long track tornado producer. Passed just to the south. Passing now just to the south of Tama and Toledo. That's where the tornado would be. I think this thing is finally starting to weaken, but you could still see that hook-like structure on the backside of it. Passing right around the backside. Tama, here's Highway 63, Highway 30 as well. The good news is that at least the circulation is starting to look a little bit more elevated down there. This far southern one, though, to the east of Albia, not as lucky, southwest of Chillicothe, but starting to get a little bit more diffuse. So hopefully this event maybe is starting to downturn a little bit. Still have this lone tornado-warned storm heading toward Chillicothe, though, southern Iowa. West of Ottumwa, still a very healthy severe storm as well. I have heard the reports that Vince almost drove into the tornado. I still need to see the video. I've been going nonstop here for hours so far. Since I didn't storm chase today and I do have to tend to the family issues, that's why I stayed back from Iowa today. My sister's going through a difficult time and we're going to be heading out there to her place tomorrow. Should have been chasing though. Oh yeah, I want it to be there, definitely. But I do radar breakdowns and I'm not out there chasing. Definitely headed up toward Chillicothe, Dudley, Kirksville area. Yeah, I definitely needed to be there. I've been, the last couple of years, I've been missing everything. But doing these radar breakdowns, still important. Just southwest of Tama, southwest of Toledo, approaching Highway 63. Got a lot going on with all these Flex Seal videos and live streams every day, storm chasing, varsity tutors class coming up, family drama here at home, people in rough spots, letting my apartment expire, and tornado season is starting. And during the spring, it's when you just got to be pure focus storm chasing, but family does come first as well. So this is the hail core that's approaching the Chillicothe area, Dudley, Kirkville. I mean, people potentially lost their lives today, you know, because it was a very bad, large, destructive tornado, strong, violent tornado that went through a very populated area there to the south of Des Moines, eventually continuing off to the east of Des Moines as well. This would be the dangerous portion of the storm back here, where the hook is coming around on the backside. Gust front bulging way out, though, near Highway 34, northwest of Blakesburg, east of Albia. So the good news is that overall, it does look like these storms are starting to outrun the instability axis a little bit. You've got this one on the south side, though, that is trying to ramp back up. So it looks like you had a little bit of a split. And now you got the right mover that's starting to dominate just to the southwest of Chillicothe. This is going to pass very close to Chillicothe, Iowa. Even though it's relatively far from the radar, I imagine a new circulation is ramping up right on the southeastern edge of that reflectivity pattern. That's going to be headed up. There it is. So this is definitely a developing tornado, it looks like, due west of Ottumwa, just north of Highway 34, moving off to the northeast toward the Chillicothe area. So keep an eye on this storm. Dangerous storm moving off to the northeast. Chillicothe, Highway 63. That's where the dangerous storm is now. This is the tail end Charlie that we're covering. That's it, just southwest of Chillicothe. Still radar indicated. I would not be surprised. Unfortunately, I think loss of life is something that's going to be possible, definitely possible, sadly, along that damage path. Winterset areas that were hit initially by that storm as well. And now it continues to push off to the northeast toward Chillicothe, Highway 63, northwest of Ottumwa, south of Dudley. Lifting off to the northeast. No, I don't mind. Spending on gas. It's not an issue for me. Just put it on the credit card. I mean, it is an issue, but I'm not trying to save up for retirement or anything. So there's the circulation southwest of Chillicothe. Definitely ramping up. This is due west of Ottumwa. Highway 34, just north of Highway 34. Circulation continues to ramp up. It is going to miss Ottumwa to the west, but it's going to keep heading off to the northeast toward Chillicothe. I had to stay home for this one. When your younger sister needs help, you know, you just have to sometimes put your own personal interests on hold for a little bit. I'm hoping to chase Monday, though. Tomorrow night, I may not chase across eastern Oklahoma, across the northern Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, even though it looks pretty interesting along that surface low track. I do think Monday, even though it's on the tail end of that shear, turning slightly more westerly, southwesterly, weakening with time as it's ejecting off to the northeast. Chillicothe, you want to get in your safe place. There's the Ottumwa Airport, which is well north of town. The Ottumwa Airport just north of Highway 63. Keep an eye on this one as well. It's definitely the most dangerous storm out of any storm right now in the entire area. Except for maybe this one again. It just will not die. Looks like it's trying to go again. Yeah, the thing is still on the ground south of Tama, everybody. Tornado still in progress just south of Tama. There it is. Approaching Highway 30 to the southwest of Gladstone. The tornado is going again. Debris southeast of Tama. Strong rotation starting to ramp up once again. There's that very strong rotation just to the southwest of Gladstone. Very strong rotation here. Strong mesocyclone headed off to the northeast through the Gladstone area, Vining, Elberon. It is going to cross Highway 30, very close to the Gladstone area. There it is. Approaching Highway 30 near Gladstone. There's your debris signature. Tornado heading into Gladstone. East of Tama. This is in Iowa along Highway 30. That's your debris. Circulation headed up toward the Gladstone area. Vining and Alberon. Tornado in progress. 6:38. Confirmed tornado near Tama. Weather spotters confirmed that tornado. Storm chasers dominating out there all over these things. Thing is still reinvigorating. It's almost carved out this little pocket out of the stratiform precipitation here. Surge in the low-level jet. The surface low is right in this area too. The low-level jet pop with that surface low is almost carved out. Clean inflow for this long track storm just to keep going. Still got this dangerous storm as well. Looks like that warning now includes the Ottumwa Airport, just north of Highway 63. This is Chillicothe, Iowa, northwest of Ottumwa. There's that dangerous circulation. Continues to ramp up, continues to intensify. Turn it off to the right a little bit. Hopefully it keeps going right. Get out of Chillicothe there. It's probably going to cross Highway 63 just somewhere to the east of Chillicothe as well. It's not that strange because it's kind of this year 2 La Nina. There's a lot of cold water wrapping around the northeastern periphery of the northeastern Pacific, encapsulating a warm blob of water. That's the North Pacific Oscillation in the north central Pacific. That kind of creates a ridge in the north central Pacific, encourages troughs to dive down across the western U.S., pivot along northern Mexico, and then eject We saw it happen on December 15th with that QLCS event across Iowa, eastern Nebraska into Iowa. We also saw it even with December 10 and 11, but that was more picking up that closed low off of Baja than ejecting it. You're going to see all different types of trough ejections during this year 2 La Nina, but clearly the writing is on the wall. It's going to be an active tornado season ahead. It already is. And I know it's below average so far, but this event's definitely going to put it back up there. Not seeing any debris right now, but that's still relatively far from the radar. This one looks like it still has debris approaching Highway 30. Still a tornado in progress. This is approaching Highway 30, just north of Highway 30 now. So these radar lags will get you sometimes. But it looks like that tornado is just to the west of Vining, southwest of Cloutier, east of Toledo. That's where your dangerous circulation now is located. Moving off to the east, Alberon, Vining could certainly get impacted by that tornado. Still keep an eye on this. This storm is just going to keep cranking. It is coupled with that surface low. Very strong wind shear associated with this storm. A low-level jet pop just ahead of that surface low as well. Yeah, very dynamic system. You're going to have thunder, snow, thunder, winter precipitation on the northwest side. And now this one is still coming into Chillicothe. They will like to develop this little rainfall along the forward flank gust front, and then you can always see the hook well defined back behind it. That's not really a bounded weak echo region, though. Yeah, it might be. Which I think it is. I thought it was more of a, a cell that was just... But yeah, Ottumwa Airport, you're right in the path of this dangerous tornadic storm. There's the circulation just southeast of Chillicothe, heading up toward the Ottumwa Airport. Highland Center as well. Hedrick, southeast of Chillicothe, Highway 63. It's about to cross Highway 63. Let's see if there's any debris being indicated by this yet. We're scanning so high up in the storm. It's possible that this coming into Ottumwa is a debris signature. Still radar indicated, though. Yeah, there's the tornado to the north of Highway 30 that we're still watching. And it looks like we lost the debris coefficient with that, if that's updated. That's 2 minutes old, so I do think that tornado off to the north has weakened. And now we're watching this one that's headed toward Ottumwa Airport right along Highway 63. That's the circulation just to the east of Chillicothe, Iowa. Don't think there's a tornado on the ground, but there easily could be. Headed toward the airport. Highway 63 here. Moving off to the northeast. Hedrick, Martinsburg, Farson. Need to be prepared for this. South of Kirkville as well. Not Kirksville, Kirkville. The northern one has lifted, it appears. As maybe its last gas to the east of Toledo, I hope. Phone just died. Yeah, I've heard that he was streaming live and got very close to that wedge tornado in Iowa, just to the south of Des Moines. But I got to catch up with everybody's footage now. Everybody sends me their footage usually, so I got hundreds of storm chasers that are sending me their footage, so the tornado footage will definitely find me, certainly. Wow. That's awesome, Caden. Good for Vince. He's a good hard worker. Nice guy, too. Big fan of Vince. I'm sure Ryan Hall was busy today as well, doing radar breakdowns. So now we got the new tornado warning that's been expanded downstream as well. Still observed. The thing is still going. Confirmed tornado as of 6:48. 7 miles to the east of Toledo, moving northeast at 45. Weather spotters still confirm that that thing is still on the ground. Insane. Look at it. It's carving out this clean inflow out ahead of it as well. The QLCS, the line is starting to catch it from the back at least. Exactly. And I don't even know what I can do to help the situation either. Nothing really, except be there. This one down south still has that tornado warning. Very close to the Ottumwa Airport. Right over the airport right now, moving off to the northeast. It's going to go by Highland Center, Martinsburg, Nugent eventually. Yeah, she's also a pharmacist too, so I mean she's working, giving out all the vaccines and stuff. I mean, straps on the pharmacy outfit every day, goes to work, hard worker. It's just a shame that what happens these days. But there is the tornado headed up toward the Hedrick area, Highland Center, just east of the Ottumwa Airport now. And there it is. There's that strong rotation just to the east of Ottumwa Regional Airport. Closing in on Highway 149, Highland Center. Major outbreak. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to go to the bathroom.